Okay, that's it. We're live. It is the 11th of September. It is about 20 past 10. It's me, Roxanne. We're live here on my channel with Richard Lopez, and we are doing Connecting the Dots. This is part one. We're going to be talking about everything that encompasses into the biggest lie ever told: who, what, and where. Tonight, we're beginning our program tonight with RANTY, Flat Earth. He is a content maker from the UK who makes a massive amount of content that puts nails in the coffin, as far as I'm concerned, on a daily basis. He kills the globe. He's done some extensive work on distance shots and has a massive repertoire of content on his channel. I'll be putting the links in the description for his channel, so you can click that and go straight on to all of his content. As I said, tonight we're going to be talking about who, what, and where. Trying to connect the dots with the biggest lie ever told. We're going to be going into a little bit of the history of what we're told, his story of what we're told. Later on, Richard's going to be looking at some ancient megalithic structures, and we're going to be looking at some content to do with that. And we may have some guests later on from over the pond as well, that Richard knows that he's invited. So first and foremost, I want to thank you both for joining me on my hangout this evening. I should say our hangout, because it's our hangout this evening, isn't it, really, Richard? It's not mine, it's ours. It's our hangout.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hi, everybody. What's going on, Ranty?
Yeah, it's going good, mate. How's you?
Please say hi.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello, darling. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you want to give Richard and the chat room a little bit of a breakdown of who you are and what you do and why you do it?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been into conspiracy theories since I woke up, probably 5 or 6 years after 9/11 in 2001. So that would be 2007. I started getting into chemtrails. That was my baby. I had a channel on chemtrails. Unfortunately, when I started talking about flat Earth, the channel was removed and taken down by YouTube. So I lost that original channel and over 400 videos about chemtrails on that, which really, you know, hit me in the ghoulies, so to speak. So, so yeah, this is my next channel. It's not Ranty Rant Rant, it is Ranty Flat Earth. And I started doing this about, well, what, about a year and a half ago, year and 4 months ago, something like that.
Okay. Wow. So that's a lot of hours you've put in. That's not like a couple of months or something. That's a whole lot of hours you put in. Just so you've had content prior to this channel, so you've been at this for a minute. And when I say a minute, I mean like years. You've been at this for years. Yeah.
I mean, I only got woken up to flat Earth probably last April, so I believe.
Okay. Wow. So, but you were looking at all sorts of truths anyway. The fact that you're saying you were looking into 9/11, I mean, Richard's had personal experience with the whole 9/11 situation. And Richard himself is fully on board with the fact that we weren't told the truth. We were lied to on a massive scale with that as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was hypnotic when I watched 9/11. I actually saw it live. I say live, it was live on the TV. And it was very hypnotic. I knew in the back of my head something wasn't correct, but we played along with the narrative for years. And it was only when somebody broke that spell and said, "Hey, those buildings fell into their own footprint," I went, "Oh shit, yeah, that's right." That's what it was. Obviously it was a demolition. You could tell it was a demolition. And then it was just like the spell was broken, and it was just like, oh, instantly I knew what it was.
Yeah.
I think that's
over and over and over and over again, over and over. Because I remember I was at the firehouse and I'm just sitting there and just watching TV over and over and over and over again. So yeah, they made sure that sunk in your brain. Interesting.
Yeah, massively. Massively. I agree with you, Ranty. I was under the spell. It was very hypnotic. That's a brilliant way of putting it. When I watched the fraud happen on TV, I was literally walking out of my grand's house and about to embark on a journey in the car for about 6 hours and drive. So all I had to rely on was the radio. And I just remember looking at those images and being somewhat hypnotized by it and getting in the car like a zombie going, what is going on? What what have I just seen on TV? And by the time I reached London, oh, hell had broken loose. You know, to drive, I left, everything was calm, cool and collective. I drive back into London. There's like full army at Heathrow Airport. It's like the whole of London was on lockdown from the M25 inwards. Where I live is underneath the flight path of Heathrow. That was locked off. That was like London was a no-fly zone, like no-fly zone. London City Airport was closed down. It felt like we were 2 inches away from being under martial law over here. I don't know about how everyone else was. I don't know where you live in the UK, Ranty, but for everyone that lived in London, it felt like we were just 2 or 3 inches away from being on lockdown in our houses.
Yeah, I live in, I don't know if you know where Blackpool is in England. Yes. Right, okay, so a bit up north, you know, fair way away from you guys, but, you know, it's obviously you live in a very high profile city, so Blackpool's a bit out of the way. You know, it's not going to be the first to be targeted, I wouldn't have thought.
No, but it felt a spell, like you said, until it came out and you started seeing content and people talking about, actually, no, that's not right. This happened, that happened. And I was like, oh shit. Oh.
I think it was just a couple of videos were put out, nothing special, but it was when the Architects for Engineers for 9/11 Truth did their video, and they comprehensively went through all the evidence, including the thermite, the nanothermite that was used, etc. When that all came out, everything made sense. You know, I mean, they explained it so well, and it's not some conspiracy theory. It really is. It's the truth. And the thing is, and this is what kind of gets me, is that probably 95% of Americans all realize now that it was an inside job, that it was done by the government, but everybody still sits on their hands and does nothing about it.
No outrage. Where's the outrage? You know what I mean? And I think that's the difference between the 9/11 and this flat earth deception, because this is the nail in the coffin. You know what I mean? This is the mother of all lies. And if once people, you know, this is making people actually want to do something now and step up. This is the last straw we actually need to get people to see this deception. My question is, Ranty, for you is, what's your knowledge about the archaeology? Are you familiar with channels like Wise Up and Roger over here in the US? What's your knowledge about archaeology, you know, the lies about archaeology and history about that?
In what respect? You mean about dinosaurs, things like this?
Dinosaurs, the way how they lied and said that we came from caves, and you know that we wasn't smart, we came from monkeys, and that's not the truth. That you know, we were pouring concrete using rebar structures, and we were very advanced.
I'm on board with the idea that we don't have evolution as like we don't come from chimpanzees.
Right.
And I am also on the belief that obviously fossil fuels aren't from fossils. It's like those wells that dried out 100 years ago, they're now full again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you know, I mean, I like to ask people that, because a lot of people that know about the flat earth but don't really know about the archaeology history, and you know, and that's another deception. You know anything about the giants and the Nephilim? I'm aware of them. Okay, can you share with everybody and with me and Roxanne about what you know?
I'm aware of them. I haven't researched it. Okay. I'll be honest. You know, I've watched several videos on them. I do believe they existed. I do believe that they found one of these in Afghanistan in the war probably 15 years ago. I believe they killed it, and I do believe they are perhaps still in and around in that area. You know, I mean, there's a lot that we don't know. We don't know where we live. Essentially, we don't know where we live. We could live in a Rubik's cube that's flat, you know, and we could have different layers of you know, underground. For all we know, we do not know where we live. We just know that where we live is flat, and there could be a multitude of different things and conspiracies that we're still not aware of. And going back to old sort of like passed down. What is it? What would you call it? When you have your grandma told you and your grandma told them, you know, like history's passed down through them. I'm sure there's so many truths in these stuff. You know, when they talk about fairies and all this kind of stuff. I mean, now it sounds weird and like small people, you know, like the leprechauns and things like this. Well, we're finding that there are small people, and there have been small people. There are giants, you know, all these things. They've not just been plucked out of thin air. They literally have been passed down. And then you look at Tartaria and things like this. And you look at Harry Potter, for instance. Yeah. Right. And what was the signal for the Tartarian flag? What did it have on it? Can you think?
I don't remember.
Okay, so what was Harry Potter was in Gryffindor, wasn't he? So yes, the Griffin was the flag of the Tartarians. And what did Harry Potter have? Yeah, as a means of his pet was an owl. Well, the owl was also the Tartarian flag for the. Sorry, the Emperor was for the Griffin, and the. Oh no, was it the other way around? Whichever. It was the owl and the Griffin, and both of them were for Tartaria. Go figure. And they were both done on Harry Potter.
Oh wow. Yeah, there was a lot of interesting stuff. Same thing with the Lord of the Rings. A lot of correlations.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think there is. There's so much we don't know, and there's so many places we don't get to go. Honestly, it could be anything.
Absolutely, it's like the movie The Village. You ever seen the movie The Village?
No.
Sort of like they I guess I don't remember the specifics, but it was like this family. They did some horrible stuff like back in like the 50s or whatever, and this town banished them to like this animal preserve, this animal wildlife preserve, and like fenced them in, and they had to stay there. So the elders that went there of the family they just made it seem like they were like in the 1800s, like stuck in the 1800s, man. And no one could go into the woods because they literally had like stage boogeyman, so they couldn't go in the woods. So come to find out, this girl, you know, runs because she needs to get medicine, and she winds up finding the truth about that there's more to outside of the woods. And she gets to the woods, she gets to the wall, and she climbs over the woods, and she's like, she see cars, and you know, security helped her, and she was just mind blown. And I feel like that's what's actually going on here, that we're just being, you know, kept, you know.
You've seen the film The Matrix, yeah? You've seen the film The Matrix.
Yes, the globe model is the Matrix. Absolutely right.
So Neo's passport. What date was on Neo's passport? Can you remember?
No, I don't. I didn't even recognize it.
9/11/2001.
Oh wow! I gotta check that out.
And that was before. That was before 9/11 happened.
Wow. Are you serious?
I'm serious, mate.
Wow. Oh yeah, I know. See, like when Roxanne was telling you that, you know, that I was in 9/11. Well, I was one of the rescuers down there, and what I knew something wasn't right immediately when there were freezers down there. We were putting the bodies, you know, in, you know, that we were taking, you know, in there, like after the steel workers were getting the steel off, you know, we took the firefighters, any rescue workers, whatever, and we're putting them in the body bags. We all, you know, then after we found them and put them in a body bag, we all kneeled and we all prayed. And we took them to the freezers that were already there. So you know, when I went back home, I had a lot of thinking, and that just didn't make sense. And then I watched Loose Change, and that was a done deal. Like, people in New York know what time it is, you know. And just like you said, now most people know that, you know, because Building 7, you know, was the icing on the cake. You know, it just came down. Buildings just don't fall down like that. Most people don't realize it's the first time in history that steel buildings fell down to the ground. You know, the first time in history, and jet fuel. So, you know, my thoughts is I don't even think there was jet fuel on the planes, and don't even think planes even hit the buildings. But you know, that's a whole nother conversation. It brings some attention to it because today is 9/11, and I tell people, people say, "Oh, never forget." Yeah, never forget what our governments, have done to their own citizens. That's what I say. Yeah, never forget the evil that these people have done, and people are starting to wake up, and this flat Earth is this truth alone is going to is basically checkmate.
Can I ask you a question, Richard? What's your one proof of a flat Earth? If you could rely on one thing, what would it be? My observations. Once I realized that I never experienced curvature in my life and put 1 + 1 together, that's the biggest. There's no measurable curvature. I've been a curvature hunter for just under 2 years now, and I failed. And with that curvature, I would say the horizon. The horizon is the killer, because I've never witnessed that horizon bend downwards or upwards. And if we in fact lived on a ball, we would see that. I don't care what anybody tell you. We would see that horizon bend. You understand what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, man. What's one of your main proofs of this flat stationary plane we live on?
Obviously, no measurable curve, flat water where I live, essentially where I live, which is all of the Irish Sea. Being able to see objects that are far, far further away than the curvature calcs would say. Obviously getting to grips with the optics that's going on and understanding them. But essentially that you cannot have flat water on a ball. So the water has to conform to the gravitational pull of the molten iron core at the center of the Earth. So this molten iron core has an effect on all the water. The water then curves in a spherical shape, and it can be measured, right? Land, okay, so like the Netherlands and things like this, things that are measured flat, the salt lakes, okay, we know these are flat and they are proved as flat, but water doesn't have that luxury. It has to curve. So anything that you see that's beyond the curvature calcs over water has to be, in their model, looming, right? It literally has to be being risen up beyond the curvature of the Earth, or the light has to be traveling along the curvature of the Earth due to refraction and continuing to bend and bend and bend hundreds of feet till it gets into your lens and looks completely flat. It's retarded and ridiculous, let's be honest, right? But this is their model, right? So we have to try and break that model. And what I do and what my observations prove is that I can go down on any given day and see far further than I should be able to on the curvature calcs, right? Sometimes down to complete flatness over 15, 18, 20 miles, right? Complete flatness. Now, that in their model would be extreme looming, whatever they choose to call it. In my model, it's just we see it because it's there. It's flat.
Absolutely.
And another thing, see when you're looking across a cityscape, across a relatively flat cityscape, why is there if we were on a ball, why is there no angle change for the buildings? And I don't mean a massive angle change. I'm just saying one that you could visibly see.
Sorry, could you say that again, Roxanne?
So see when you're looking at a distance shot of a cityscape.
Yeah.
From left to right. Yeah. Not from you to away. So say you're looking over to the horizon and you see the cityscape. Why isn't there any kind of measurable where the buildings would be like that at the extreme left and the extreme right? You would see the buildings wouldn't be parallel the way they are.
Well, exactly. So when you're looking at the horizon, I mean, I had a debate with Mick West some time ago now. So Mick West was on my radar about a year ago with Anthony Riley. And he said to me, oh, you can see the curvature of the Earth. If you go up to Blackpool Tower, you'll be able to see the curvature of the Earth if you go up there. So he says you don't even need a decent camera, just an iPhone will do. Well, of course, I went up with my P900 and I had an iPhone too. And I was able to measure, I think it was about, let me get this right. I think it was about 17 miles. I worked it out and it was 17 miles of the horizon. And then I placed a line across this. Now, there should have been some curvature in that. There wasn't a single pixel of drop, right? So when I came back to him on that, he then retracted his statement and said something other than this, something different. However, right, Mick West is the guy that does the metabunk stuff, right? So he's also been on people like Joe Rogan and stuff like this. So
he's a joker.
He's connected, yeah, he's connected. But he is a joker, essentially. He's a joker, isn't it? He's a, you know, he's a shill, let's be honest. So exposing him gave me great pleasure. You can't find curvature on the x-axis, right? You can't. You've only got your field of view. You've only got your field of view. So if you were an ant on a table, you can only see, let's say, 10 inches in front of you. That's the furthest you can see because your field of view, and it will be in a circle. It will literally be in a circle. So you can turn around and it will be a circle. You can't determine curvature on the x-axis. That's true. So the only thing we have got is the y-axis. So we look at that and we see much further than we should be able to. In fact, in some cases, we see completely flat. The new technology, well, not new technology, but being able to see an infrared is blowing this wide open, you know, and the ballers don't like this.
No, they don't. Ballers don't like it. I've met a few of them at Hyde Park, and they really don't like it. If they get triggered, overly triggered. What would you say, Ranty, is probably the best example, your best experience of taking long distance shots? If you had to name two.
I've got a lot. I've got hundreds of these. Let's say, okay, so the first time that I went to do an experiment was with Anthony Riley, right? So I met him and we went to Hoy Lake and we met up, just met him for the first time, got talking, you know, started videoing, filmed Blackpool Tower from nearly 30 miles away. And at the same time that I was there, I went to the different place on the other side of the lifeboat station, and I filmed this building called the Lighthouse. It was at Llandudno. And had, you know, obviously we knew what we were seeing. I went to see Blackpool Tower, but essentially the Llandudno, the lighthouse on there was a better flat Earth proof, because essentially I was seeing down to about 80 feet. You know, obviously we have the distortion at the bottom, but the curvature calcs say that there should have been like 600 feet missing. So the fact that we were seeing, just blown away. And of course I went to Llandudno a few weeks back, and I saw the Isle of Man, and I saw all of the Isle of Man down to at least 200 feet, which obviously we can account for the missing down to the optics. So down to 200 feet, but 1,400 feet should have been missing. So where's the 1,200 feet? We were seeing mountain ranges that we shouldn't have been able to see. I've seen from 1 foot, I've been able to see Barrow Furnace down to literally down to the floor, from ground level to ground level. From 1 inch, I've been in a ditch at 0 inches, literally dug a hole out in the sand and let the water fill up the actual hole whilst I had my camera in it. And I was seeing 18 and odd miles down to Barrow Furnace, which should have been all gone behind the curvature of the Earth. This stuff can be done if you have the will to do it.
And that's just it. I want to encourage people to have the will to do it. I want to encourage people to get out there and start making your own observations and start repeating and observing what's been done time and time again, because I think that's another way that we're going to help expose these liars for who they are. They're criminal liars, you know, mugging people off for 500 years, making people live their whole lives in a fucking lie.
But I can show you a couple of videos that I've put out today, and maybe a couple of others that I've. Let me just share my screen.
Yes, please. And I will definitely be putting the I'll definitely be putting the links in the description for RANTY's channel, so that you can all get that.
So here we are. This is an observation, 18.7 miles. My observer height was 4 feet above sea level. These buildings, you shouldn't see these buildings on a curved Earth. Essentially, if this is your belief and you believe you live on a sphere, these buildings are a hologram. We do not see these. But then I refer back to this mountain in the background, and I look at this mountain, and it looks consistent the entire way down. You know, there's no clip where you would expect to see looming start to take effect. So if these buildings were being loomed in this narrow area between the hot air meeting the cold water, then you would expect to see a clip on the mountain behind where reality meets the hologram, and we don't see this. So in my opinion, we're just seeing it because it is there. It literally is just there. And when we come through, we scan across these buildings, these are 18.7 miles away. We shouldn't see these. What do we come to? So here we come to Barrow Town Hall, for instance. There's actually Barrow Town Hall. There's the steeple behind it, St. John's Church. There's the medical centre.
And how far is that away again?
18.7 miles.
Wow.
18.7 miles. This lighthouse has a focal light. The height on the focal light is 69 feet. The curvature calcs say that over 80 feet should be missing. Well, we're seeing all of the lighthouse. We actually see the light. We actually see the chimneys behind there's a sand dune in front of it, which leads down to the beach. So you've got the beach, the sand dune, and obviously the water. You've got the house that's behind this sand dune, and we're seeing all of the lighthouse. The lighthouse is, like I say, has a focal height of 69 feet. We see all of the lighthouse. This is unequivocally flat as a pancake. You know? I'll just scan through. There's Barrow Town Hall. You know, all this should be gone. You shouldn't see that. That isn't there. It's a hologram on the ball. And this is where my flat Earth proofs come in, that you can't have flat water on a ball. It doesn't conform to gravity, right? So everything we are seeing now has to be a hologram in their model, right? It literally has to be. What we see isn't really there. It's a hologram. It's loomed up. Now, you can either believe that, or you can just say, do you know what? I kind of don't believe that, because it looks pretty realistic, to be honest. You know, it's not moving. It's not breaking up. It's not changing in its, you know, it's solid. You know, it looks like a solid thing. It looks like we're just looking at it. In their model, this is what we're seeing is being loomed around the water in front of us. It's ridiculous. Let's be honest.
That's not. We're not supposed to see that far, right? According to their model, right?
Correct.
Absolutely.
Correct.
And of course, obviously, I zoom out. So hang on. Let me just show you this when I zoom out to give you an idea of the distance. Here we go. I'm down on the beach.
Oh,
there
wow.
we go.
Oh, wow.
Look how far away that is. You can't even see the buildings now. But that is the distance. So that was today's video. I also did another one, a go-to compression video, which is something that I've just released today. So it's essentially looking at, same as the other one, but it's looking at the why we seem to see things things seem to disappear from the bottom up. Yeah. So when they always say, oh, the things go over the horizon, and obviously the boat's going over the horizon. Well, my work is proving that that isn't the case. So here we have the Stena boat, and I was filming this from an elevation of about 30 feet. And what I do is I change my elevation and I go down to about a foot above sea level, and we see the boat again. So here's the two images of the same boat. And as you can see, it is the same boat. So width-wise, from one side to the other, it matches up perfectly. But height-wise, right, height-wise, this is where the difference comes in. Look at the Stena line and the Stena line. Look how compressed it is. Look at you can see the orange at the bottom of the boat. Right? So we're seeing down to the hull, right? Yes. But look at the difference. Look at the compression difference, yeah? And absolutely. I go through this and I explain that, obviously, I'll try and find a part where we see, oh, so here we go. So here's the top of the boat. So if you look at the top of the boats from the 30 foot and the 1 foot, they look pretty much the same. You know, they're out of that compression zone, that very narrow angle.
Yeah.
Right.
And as you can see, that they're not affected by this compression. So the top of the boats aren't in that zone, right? That very narrow viewing angle. So let's say it's 0.01 of a degree. I don't care what you call it, but in that very narrow zone, things get compressed. Here, out of that narrow zone, this boat looks the same on both. And when you go down to the lower, hopefully I can sketch. So here's the bottom of the boat. I know it's a bit out of focus. I should have centered it better, but essentially this is the top. This is the bottom of the boat. Can you see the differences?
Oh yeah.
On the bottom.
Oh yeah.
And this is what I've got. This is what I'm trying to. This is what I've been trying to show people. That here's a side by side. You know, again, the tops are the same. Everything above the S or below the S, the red S, and everything above it is the same. When it goes lower than that, it gets compressed, and we're seeing all of the boat, and we can prove that because we're seeing this orange in the hull.
Yes.
So all of the boats there, we're seeing it all. 17 feet should be hidden on this one, bearing in mind, which would take it up to 2/3 of the way up the Stenerline words. But obviously, I'm not interested in the curvature calcs on this. This is just simply proving the compression that happens. All of the boats are visible. But if you did a blink test, if you got this boat and you blink tested it over this one, they could say that, oh, it's gone over the curve. Look at all the boat. Look at all the bottom of the boat that's missing. Yeah. Well, no, it's not. It's all there. It's literally all there. We can see it. It's just compressed.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. People always talk about the curve, but they never talk about the bottom of the curve. Oh, I've seen the curve. Oh yeah. Well, if you've seen the curve, then you've seen the bottom of the curve as well. Because if we live on a ball, that curve's got to go exponentially, keep on going down. Absolutely.
Oh, I've been going over all this kind of stuff. This was about atmospheric blocking. I go into the fact of how the atmosphere blocks things out. This was from Nathan's show. So I was on Nathan's show, Nathan Oakley, 1980. Okay. And I was actually looking over at Wales. So from North Pier in Blackpool, I was seeing Wales, and this was the top of an oil rig that's in the Irish Sea. And essentially, you shouldn't see the oil rig, and we don't see the actual oil rig. Yeah, we don't see it. We see the flames coming out of the top of it, which was, you know, I could see this from where I was. Rest of the oil rig is hidden in this area. It's hidden by the atmosphere, and I go through the details of how I'm able to prove this. Perhaps let's see if I can find the one spot that will be able to show you how I got to that conclusion, because you'll know straight away after just watching that last video.
Absolutely.
Hang on, oh, here we go. Right, here we go. So here's me looking at Barrow in Furnace again. You've just seen the video where I showed you the mountain going down. So the mountain went down the thing, and it went down, and it came down, and it went across here. Well, look at this where it doubles back on itself. Can you see?
Yes, yes.
So the sky is being miraged down on itself. It's repeating that this is where and all those buildings that we would have seen in this area here are being hidden by the atmosphere, literally hidden by the atmosphere. So the mountain is repeating itself here. The sky is repeating itself here. And then everything that's behind that you should be able to see is being blocked. It literally is blocked out, and it's the atmosphere that's blocking it. And I show this on so many different videos, and I go into it and I do the elevation drops, and I'm able to show exactly, you know, how I've come to these conclusions. And it literally is all atmospheric. It's atmospheric, and it's also, you've got a very narrow angle. When you've got good conditions to see things, you get that very narrow angle as well. So it's just crazy. But we're understanding this now. We're getting to understand this.
Absolutely. Great stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
That's the biggest part, isn't it? Is being able to absorb it and understand it instead of it just kind of going over your head. Because if you don't understand it, you can't use this as a tool to help wake other people up, especially when you're out on the streets. People have got 1,000,001 questions, and they go, and why this, and why that, and why this, and why that. So you need to at least be able to have some kind of stock of information where you can give people the right answers at the right time, because it could make the difference between someone taking it seriously and someone not taking it seriously, you know?
Oh, definitely. And what we have here, we have a very, very slight bit of miraging going on. So you're getting the bottom of this boat is starting to be, you know, making like a mouth on this boat. But that's just the start of the refraction zone. But essentially, we're seeing all of this boat. And what I do is I lower the elevations. I go lower, 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 lower through the to see what I can, to see how far I can actually see on this boat. And when I get to this point here, hang on, and it's completely revert. You know, there's a complete mirage of the person above is the person below. This person's head here is down here, and there's a very, very clear refraction layer here.
Yes.
And again, the boat is hidden. Literally, the boat is hidden in this mirage zone. And this is what my channel is essentially all about, is understanding the atmospherics. That's how they've been able to get away with tricking us to believing it's a ball. Because if you look at this now, you think, oh, that's curvature, but it's not. The atmosphere is reflecting the person before you can even see the boat. Hang on, let me just pause it there. Look, there's the hard horizon down here. There's where the boat is. There's where the boat is.
Wow.
The atmosphere is reflecting this down. It's just the angle.
Of course. Wait, does the same thing happen on, like, you know, like really flat roads through the desert and like flat plains? And you know, when you see the little oil slick on the road or whatever it is, and you see the bottom of the car disappear, but you know the car's still there because the road's there. Yeah. You see the bottom of the car disappear. Is it the same as that, but like over water?
Yeah, it's like the heat coming out of the ground, right? You see it far away. Absolutely.
It's exactly the same. Now, if you showed this to a glober, their default would be, yeah, that's curvature, you know. But the work,
they don't even know what curvature means.
Right? Work we're doing is showing that there is a mirrored water layer before we get there that reflects the image, and you only get miraging on a flat surface. You don't get it on a curved surface. You couldn't get this imagery on a ball.
Right, on a ball.
It only happens on a flat surface.
Right. Absolutely. Right. And we never observe, you know, if we live on a ball, that means all the beaches, you'd be seeing water crashing down. I mean, because if all this curvature, you would see evidence of a ball and water going downwards. We would actually see water going upwards. I mean, it's not hard, people.
So a couple of weeks ago, I went to Barrow Furnace, the other side. So I went and drove all the way around. I think it was a 170-mile round trip to go and get this observation. It was crazy.
Wow.
And what we're actually seeing here is this is called the big one, right? Now we're seeing all of the big one, right? There's the top of it. There's the bottom of it. If I go before, you've just got this.
Is that a roller coaster? Is that a roller coaster? It's
a big roller coaster in Blackpool, yeah. So if I pause it there, it goes up here, drops down, comes up, drops down, goes around the back there, drops down and goes around again. And literally, where my cursor is now is where the curvature calcs say we should be. Where my cursor is now, right? And I'm going to play you this video, right? Because it's going to blow your mind. So here we go. Now, here's Blackpool Tower, and it sits on a building called, what's it called? The Tower Lounge. Well, the Tower, it was the Tower Lounge. It sits on this building. It's 120 feet tall. Now, it just coincidentally coincides with, that's where the curvature calc should be from my distance.
Okay.
So all this black area here, which isn't lit up, which you don't expect it to be lit up because it is just it's a concrete building. Everything where the lights start here, that's 120 feet, and that's where the curvature calcs are. So everything beneath that.
That's how far away?
Oh, let me hang on. You're going to make me check my details now.
No big deal. No big deal. It's just kind of interesting to kind of put that in perspective.
You're going to make me check my distance. So there was me giving the details.
Oh, wow. So you've even put all of that information in the description as well.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, I've got everything in there, mate. But what's more interesting is later in the video, in this location here, there's the Blackpool illuminations get switched on, and you see the concert being played on the seawall. And the seawall is down here, and you see all these lights flashing. So in a minute, let me just play the video a little bit. So all these street lights that you see, you know, they're down to around about 40 feet or so, right? We shouldn't, the curve calcs say 120 feet. There's the big wheel, right? It's unfortunate that my exact location, when I put the GPS in, I had a building that was in the way, which was on North Pier. It was called the Family Bar. So we're not actually seeing the bottom of it. But, you know, look at this for flatness. It was just crazy. I did a live stream on this as well. I was literally there, and I was doing it live, and I was showing people through the P900, and blew them away. I mean, well, let me just scroll a bit further on, and I'll show you. Where are we?
Unbelievable.
Right, let's go to here. So this is the concert that's going on the sea wall. Can you see all these lights really going bang 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 bang? Yeah, and this is like, who was there? There was like Diversity there and stuff, and they were doing the dancing and what have you. And this is on the sea wall. I mean, this should have been long gone beyond the curvature of the Earth.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
You know? Yeah. I walked out half a mile across the sands in the pitch darkness to go and get this over from Barrow Furnace after driving a 180-mile round trip.
Wow. No, that's insane though. You see, this is probably what people don't realize when they're looking at work like this, you know, is time and mileage and effort and going out of your way and making sacrifices to do this kind of stuff so that people can view this and have this proof as well. Massive respect to you, man. Massive respect to you for that.
Big time. Yeah, that's amazing, man.
Wow.
Just showing the flatness. There's no curve where I live. There is no curve at all. I mean, I can't find it. I go out and I try to see it. I don't see it. I've got, I don't know how many. Let me see how many. Let me see how many videos I have.
Absolutely.
How many videos do I have? Video manager. I've got a lot. Video manager. Let's see. I think I've got over 100. I've got, how many pages was that? 7 pages. 7 pages of videos.
Oh wow, this is good stuff, man. This is good stuff.
So there's plenty of evidence, plenty of stuff there for you guys to go watching.
Absolutely, you guys out there, please go in there and subscribe to his channel. We'll put his link in the description.
Yeah, I've already done that. It's already in the description.
Absolutely.
Oh, here we go. Here's a 1-inch observation, like my thumbnail with the middle finger sticking up. 1 inch. 1 inch, 18.4 miles. So let's have a look at this.
Serious?
Oh wow!
So from just 1 inch, here we go. So here we are.
Woo.
Literally, there's the buildings of Barrow, but they're compressed, just like the boat.
Yeah.
So when I showed you the boat before and how it compresses at a very, very narrow angle, I'm looking at a very, very narrow. I'm at 1 inch here. It doesn't get much narrower than that over 18.4 miles. I mean, what's the angle on that? It's got to be like 0.002 or something.
Yeah.
But look how but we're seeing the buildings. There's no doubt that we're actually seeing the buildings, and this is from 1 inch.
Right.
And
so Globehead would be like, "Oh, well, you can't see all of the building, so because it's below the curve." It's just nonsense like that, you know.
Yeah, and what the work I'm doing is proving that obviously compression is a very real effect over a very narrow angle over distance. It literally that's what happens. Your camera or your eye will try to see all that imagery in a very, very narrow space, and it's not going to do that. Look at this.
Wow, without a shadow of a doubt. Look at that. And that's that. And that's with that Nikon P900, right?
That's with the Nikon P900, yeah. The good thing is, I mean, I did it was called a RANTY-a-thon to get myself a P1000.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I put the SOS out. I need a P1000, and within 24 hours, people have donated the entire funds to buy me a P1000. So
see, that just goes to show how on point your work is. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Better that you make awesome work already. Now you can make even more awesome work, which you're obviously already doing. You know, that's amazing.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, that's amazing. You got anything to show us right now? That's amazing, man.
Man, I could show you stuff all day long. It would blow your mind away. All I would say is, if there's something you want to do, perhaps have a look at my channel, and you know, let's have a look. Well, let's go back. That was from 1 inch.
Awesome.
I think I go lower than an inch, actually. I think that's from 2 inches. That's from 0. Here we go. Let's look at 0. This is where I dig a hole in the actual sand. So I'm actually in a hole right now that I've dug out in the sand. And I mean, look at the seagulls, but we can actually still see the buildings. Here's the mountain, but look how everything's been compressed. Even the mountain looks compressed, let alone the buildings. It looks different, but you're still making out the buildings in the distance.
Yeah, I can see them.
Yeah. There's where the water comes in. Here we come, and I pop right out. And I'll show you where you'll see the actual water swill around the hole in 3, 2, 1. Where is it? Go on. Fill that trench up. There we go.
Okay.
So there it was. There's where I had my camera in that little trench.
Okay.
And I was literally at 0. I don't think I could have got any less than that.
Wow.
And this is, you know, we're looking for curved water, and it's flat. Look at the horizon.
Right.
Completely flat. You know, there's nothing there. I mean, we must be looking at what we must be here at probably 15 miles. You know, from left to right, and it's completely flat.
Right. It doesn't curve downwards at all. It just doesn't.
Not at all.
Right.
I could hold a ruler up to my screen just now, and it would just show flat. It would show flat.
Basically, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not, you know, there's no one can't find it. So there's no evidence of the globe. None whatsoever. 0. Except for NASA photos. Ranty, how do you feel about NASA?
I've got NASA's a joke, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Complete joke. Absolutely, complete joke.
They stuck a finger in the ISS, didn't they, to plug the hole, apparently.
Yes, absolutely. In a vacuum of space. And while they were sleeping, you know, they didn't care, you know, going over 17,000 miles an hour.
Here's another thing, yeah. There's this is only hard. I don't know even. It's basically a video it's unlisted. It was just a subscriber that asked me to go down and measure to try and find out what the size of this particular rock was. So we're looking at, on this particular day, luckily, funnily enough, he wanted to know what the height of this rock was here. And because we had this piping that was put in, I decided to do a video especially for him. So I went along and I got the tape measure out and I measured the piping. So I was able to measure the piping and I was able to get the estimation that we're looking at about 4 feet. So I was able to calculate that the rock was, like I'd already said in the video, 2 feet above sea level, because he was having an argument with a friend of his that was a glober, and he needed this evidence to convince him that when I looked across these rocks down here, this rock, and saw Barrow and Furnace in a previous video, he needed to know what that height of that rock was, because he wasn't sure if it was like 5 feet, 6 feet, and I said, no, it's only 2 feet. And then I went and I did all this. So I did this video for a subscriber. It was just a passing comment, and I don't even think I've heard of Ben Higgins again, to be honest. But I went and I did it.
Wow.
You know, because if that one person tells another person, it's somebody else that's
word of mouth. Word of mouth. That's where it's at, and I think that should resonate more than anything else. Is the fact that just trying to do that to change the narrative and change the way it's going, I think is so important. So,
hey, Ranty, do you have any ideas on any suggestions on while you're on here to give to people on how to approach this in their own way?
I would just say, just go with you know, what you see. You know, I mean, if you see things that look further than the curvature calcs, you know, plug it in, see whether it conforms to the curvature calcs, and if it doesn't, essentially what you're looking at is being loomed around the curvature of the Earth. So, you know, you've got to either say to yourself then, well, is this my eyes that are failing me, or am I actually really seeing what I'm seeing? You know, and this is where the conflict will come in. It will come into, am I seeing a mirage or am I seeing reality? And, you know, for most sane people, they will agree that they are seeing reality.
Right.
It's only the globers that believe that what we're seeing is a mirage, and it's
Right.
not. So yeah, so all kinds of weird stuff. Just check my channel. Check my channel out if you want to see some stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I've put the link for your channel in the description, and I strongly suggest everyone go over there and check out all of that work. That is amazing.
And that's what you want to, and that's what you want to do, guys. You want to find pages that people that put content out that resonates with you, man.
That's it. It all goes into connecting the dots, right?
Right, connecting the dots. Right, that's what this.
And you know something? I'm all for promoting people. Like the Horror Sheet Show, he's fantastic. Guys, go over there, subscribe to his channel, watch his live stream. It's brilliant.
Absolutely. Shout out to him.
That's what we've got to do. We've got to share the love. We've got to share the love and share the truth. Because I think that's what we need to do. Everyone's out there collecting their, research on the fact that they don't live on a ball. And I think for everybody to connect and share their conversations and make those conversations public and communicate with each other with humility instead of ego.
Absolutely.
I think everyone needs to kind of start leading by example and showing everybody, look, how else are we supposed to move this forward and get somewhere with this? One day I want them to stop teaching kids gravity in school. My daughter's in year 10. She's going through GCSEs now. No, she's not. She's in year 11. GCSEs. She's doing physics. She's doing triple science. They're force feeding her gravity and the rest of it. And she's going to get made to memorize it. Then she's going to get made to regurgitate it. And it will all sway on the balance of whether she has a successful life or not. They're teaching her stuff out of the Principia Mathematica that's just over 500 years old. Like, enough of the lie. Enough of the lie. The lie needs to stop. It needs to stop.
Well, I'm not afraid of controversy either. So essentially, like Awake Souls in the Limitless channel, I'll call these guys out for being fake flat earthers, and they are. I mean, they profess to be religious, and they call themselves what is it, the two witnesses and all this kind of rubbish. They asked me to go down and repeat an observation, which I did, and because they couldn't perspective, right? They couldn't understand that things get smaller in distance.
Yes.
Right. So they couldn't, they basically called me out as having CGI stuff and all this kind of rubbish on. So, I've called them out, and you get the fake people. You do get fake people on Flat Earth. You get people that are very aggressive, that are, very suspicious of people. Fair enough. We're in an industry that's kind of suspicious,
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
But there's a limit to how much you can take off people. So, there are some people that I would say avoid. And there are some people that I'm happy to.
As I say, there's probably some
with.
people that come with a public health warning. There is probably some people that should come with a public health warning. But I think, like you said, considering the subjects that we're all discussing, I think it's to be expected. I think one would be very naive to think that people like that don't circulate in the mix. And we had allegedly Dave on with us the other day, and he called it out for what it is. He said that there's blatantly people that are involved in this movement that are here to not help the truth. So realistically speaking, I think that's well said. If people are out there, and we all know from the personal experiences we've had as we've gone through our journey, that you come across people that are probably not as genuine as they should be or claiming to be. So full rating for you for saying that, my darling.
I've had my ups and downs with sheeps and neeps. I mean, we still don't see eye to eye on almost anything. I don't. He has an issue with me, I have an issue with him. We just don't gel. However, when I found out that he had cancer, the first thing I did was do a 15-minute video saying he's got cancer. Go over to his, go over to his channel, subscribe to him, give him some money. He's got a Patreon set up. He's got a PayPal set up. All this kind of stuff. Go and help him, to deal with that. I'm not malicious, because he does go out and he promotes Flat Earth. Whether we gel in that respect of how we both do things, what he thinks of me and what I think of him. But
you're like saying, despite your indifferences, there's still a mutual respect there.
Yeah, I've no malice to the guy at all. So I will still help people out and promote them. But there are some people that you just wouldn't you know, you wouldn't want to do that for, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. And you're not going to see eye to eye all the time. You know, I got some friends that are flat earthers. I don't see eye to eye all the time, but it's all good though. It's all good. We're on the same level. It's all good. I don't hate him. We just don't see eye to eye. That's cool. You know, stay focused. Don't get sidetracked with the BS. Somebody come running to you with that BS, just run the opposite way, man. You know what I mean? You know?
Oh, here's a good video for you guys. I don't know if you've seen anything like this before. You have to bear with me because the camera really struggled to focus. However, right, okay, so here we have some people on the beach. Now, the distance to these people was, I think it was at most 2 miles. It was maybe a mile. I've got the information in the video, but bear with me for this. I'm looking across the beach, and my camera tripod is set to around about 3 feet. So I wasn't, you know, so there should be no curvature seen here, right? You know, on the curvature Earth, and there should be obviously no curvature on the flat Earth. So everything we're seeing is optical. And when I play the video, let me just, right, we have a dog here that's behind this man. And I'll just try and keep pausing it. It goes out of focus, but it does come in at some point. And we'll see the dog, and it literally bounces in and out of this mirroring layer. So here we go. You can't. Oh, there we go. There's a good thing. Right? There's the mirror layer where my cursor is now. You can see this on the human here, right? You can see it on the other human here. Yeah. And the mirror layer right here. So the sky is being reflected down, and then this dog that's out of that very, very narrow mirror layer is going to be bouncing in and out of this mirror layer. There we go. Here we go. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at this. It goes in. It goes in and out of this mirror, and there it disappears, and it comes. Can you see? I mean, this is atmospheric blocking. This is what happens. The atmosphere is reflecting the sky down before we can see the dog's feet, and it's blocking out the dog's feet.
Wow.
So we're only seeing the top of the dog. Now, there should be no curvature at this distance, and there should be no. There should be. Look at this. Oh no, it goes out of focus. I'm sorry,
but we can definitely see what it is you're trying to show us there. That's insane.
But this is the same effect that we see over when we're trying to look at the buildings of Barrow, when the mountain curves back on itself and those buildings are in that mirage layer. This is what happens. The atmosphere blocks out the anything. Here we go. Here's a good. You might see it now. Look at that. Look, the dog is literally hidden in this mirage zone.
That's really good.
That's insane. It literally looks like it's just like you're erasing it and putting it back in and erasing it and putting it back in. It's crazy.
And these people at the top, they know this, man. They know this. You know, they're playing the games and deceiving the masses, giving them all kind of retarded explanations. Yeah.
Love it.
Unbelievable.
And you know, I mean, there should be this. You know, it can't be argued for curvature and it can't be argued for flat, but it can be argued for atmospheric. This is atmospheric blockage, absolutely 110%. You know, and I see it all the time.
That's a perfect example. Yeah.
Oh, you should see the amount of stuff I've got. Honest to God, my old PC, I had to buy a new PC because it ran out of storage. It literally ran out of storage.
Wow.
I could go on. I've got tons of stuff. I mean, is these Welsh mount? I don't even know what this is now. It was a long time ago. I suppose this is a video I'm talking about me seeing. So here's me filming the Welsh mountains, and I compare it to what Peak Finder should say.
Oh wow!
And essentially, what we're seeing here is obviously Welsh mountains, and you know, we should see some of these mountains. We should see them, but this gap here, for instance, this gap, we shouldn't see that. This mountain, this range, this part here where it's joining up.
Oh yes, yes.
Right, that shouldn't be there. We shouldn't see this.
Be under the line of horizon, according to the Ball model. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. And they don't take into effect this compression and the atmospherics. And then obviously,
you know, it's interesting. You don't hear a lot of people talk about that compression. You know.
No, you don't. You don't. I've been taking note because I feel like that's going to be a really useful tool to talk to people about when we're out and about talking to people.
It's actually a first person I heard that talk about compression.
Mm.
Well, this is what I've called it. I've called it go-to compression video. No boats went over the curve, flat Earth. That's what I've called it. So you can literally, you know, you can send people to have a look at it because the top of the boat is in proportion. Everything in the top of this boat is in proportion. It's the bottom of the boat, and we're seeing all of it in the low image, the low, you know, from 1 foot, but it's all being compressed. Right. But yet we can, because it has so many nice markers on it. It has orange, blue, white, you know, and orange.
You can tell by the wording. You can tell by the wording that it's compressed, being compressed. You can see the wording on the boat being compressed. You can still see the orange.
Even the S on the funnel at the back. See the S on the red funnel? You can see that the S is heavily compressed as well.
Absolutely. And if you look really closely, you can still see the orange on, you know, on the bottom of the boat. It's literally compressing the, you know, what you see.
If I'm being honest, the bigger the monitor you look at it on, the easier it gets to look at it. I'm looking at it on my laptop, but I can imagine.
I'm looking at it on my TV.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and so you can see the orange, right? So first and foremost, let's go to the curve calc. So the curve calcs say, see the top of my cursor on the big boat. So where it runs through the T, where it runs through that T, right? That's where the curve calcs say that it should be hidden on this image over here on the right. So so the fact that we can actually see the orange anyway at the bottom of this boat shows us seeing down to the hull, right? Secondly, because this boat doesn't have a mirage, so there's no orange above it that's being miraged down on it. The only orange that's in this image can only come from the hull. It can't come from anywhere else. It has to only have come from the hull, right? That's the absolute concrete fact that we're seeing the hull here, right? It can't be miraged down on itself, right?
Yeah.
We're also seeing a sliver of white above the orange, which is consistent with this. We're seeing all of the words. So all the bottom part of the boat in that very narrow, very, very, very small angle is being compressed. And everything that gets out of that, let's call it 0.2 degree, right? So this is out of 0.2 degree where this boat is, this rescue boat on the side. Everything above that, it's fine. It matches up perfectly. It stays the same. It doesn't change its angular size. Everything stays the same. But beneath that, in that very narrow zone, it gets compressed.
Wow.
So push this boat 5 miles further away, and the entire boat will be compressed to a sliver on the horizon, a sliver, right? And then push it another 5 miles back, it'll be gone.
Yeah.
It'll be blended into the horizon. It'll just disappear because it's being compressed to nothing.
Wow. It wouldn't have gone over a curve. It would have just been compressed to nothing.
Compressed to nothing, exactly. And this was a very calm day as well.
If you assumed any rate of progression of that, it would go down and down and down and down.
Proof. Right, you guys taking note of this. You know, this is proof right here. You can show to people. This is actually
current.
Proof.
This is current proof, like up to date, up to the minute proof. It's more, as far as I'm concerned, it's more AK-47 verbal bullets to shut people down when they start getting onto their indoctrination madness on their defense mechanism.
And let's not forget either as well that on this day it was a very, very calm day. So the ripples on the actual sea were perhaps only 2 or 3 inches. If that's not normal. So when you get like waves that are 2 or 3 feet, can you imagine what 2 or 3 feet swell would do to all this? It would envelop it. All this compression would just be enveloped.
Wow.
And then you've got all the humidity, you've got the evaporation of the seawater to form the clouds, you know, so all that would be coming into effect, you know, over a distance of, you know, 6 point odd miles, you know, you're starting to see things being blurred out as well. But just on this day, it was easy to capture it because it was very still. It was a nice, calm, clear day. And this is what we see. And it gives us a good insight into what's actually going on with our optics.
Yes. Absolutely, man. There's so many other things. Smog. You got so many other things. It just, it's all right
Oh,
there.
we're killing it. I mean, literally this past year or so. I mean, we've progressed so much. Everything from, you know, we've got questions about how can you have pressure, you know, an atmosphere next to the vacuum of space. How can you have that without a container?
You know what? That was going to be my next question for you. I was going to say enclosed system or no. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, are you a domer or are you? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'd say to this, right? I find it, you know, almost impossible to believe that we can have pressurized system next to a non-vacuum. Sorry, next to a vacuum, right? So there has to be some kind of container in some form.
Right.
Nathan found and uploaded a video yesterday that MIT essentially agree, you know, that you have to have a container next to a vacuum of space. It's damning in all respects. You know, I mean, it literally is. There's so many questions. Prove the molten iron core. Well, you've never been down beyond 10 miles or so, so how can you know?
Exactly.
And also, it loses it, you know, it goes past the Curie point, so it loses its magnetism. But we're told that the magnetism comes from the, you know, from the molten iron core. Well, the molten iron core loses its Curie temperature at like 1400 degrees. Apparently, we're supposed to believe the molten iron core is like 5000 degrees, so it can't hold a magnetism. So it can't have a magnetic field. So we can't be being protected by this magnetic field that you tell us about. It's ridiculous. You know,
yeah, it's just crazy. Now, we had a session yesterday as well. What are your thoughts on the North Pole? My thoughts on that they're hiding land in the North Pole as well as the South Pole. What's your thoughts on that?
I think there could be land at the North Pole, but not necessarily on the top. I think it might be. I think the North Pole is a North Pole as perhaps an entrance into the underground.
Right. Okay.
That's what I think. I think the South Pole is an expansive land beyond what we know, and the North Pole is an entrance into the, you know, what's underneath.
Right. The rest of this place. Right.
So when you hear folklore and stories in the past about trolls being, you know, trolls coming from under the ground and stuff like that, they always seem to come from the north. You know, if you look at Game of Thrones right now, everything's from the north. You know, you've got all the dead come from the north and all this kind of thing, and you believe in hell. That's all down below too as well. So it does seem that there's a lot of folklore and history and to do with things about being, you know, underground. So if there was anything going to be underground, I'd head to the North Pole.
That's right, man. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I know a lot of people are interested in Antarctica as well as I'm, but I'm really super interested in going to the North Pole. Interesting.
Me too. I'm interested in getting across this international flat plane of existence I live on and working out where this is in the bigger scheme of things. Real talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, there are people that talk about that. I don't know whether I'd, you know, want to promote them, but, you know, essentially we do want to know where we live.
Yeah, we do.
That's the main, that is perhaps one of the main things that we do need to understand. Have you seen Shark Boat? Go on, you must have seen Shark Boat.
No.
You haven't seen Shark Boat? Right, okay. I'm going to show you Shark Boat then. Loads of different boats. It's just a little thing that I have on my channel. When I see a boat and it gets miraged, you've got this refraction zone. Can you see the boat sort of like opening and closing the mouth? You see the mouth opening and closing?
Shark Boat. That's insane.
That's awesome, man.
That's just that's optical, mate. That's literally
optics, right? Look at that.
Wow.
That's cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I like that. That was cool. That was cool. Wow. And
Have you go on, sorry. Go on.
go ahead. I was asking how far did he thought that was? That's all.
I'm not too sure how far
Okay.
it was. It was more a fact of.
It looks like it's falling. Right, exactly, yeah.
It was capturing the effect, and the effect was obviously the boat was miraging down on itself. So obviously we have the mirror layer, which is where where the corner of the mouth is here. That's the mirror layer. So the bottom of the boat, which is white, is being miraged down before we get, it's being miraged down. It's literally a mirror image of itself. And the sky, that proves that the sky is being miraged down too. So the sky is being miraged down over the ocean, which in effect is lowering the height of the ocean. So when people say you can get a theodolite and you can point it to the horizon, well, no, prove where the horizon is. Because in my opinion, the horizon will be where my cursor is right now. In your opinion, the horizon will be down here. So you'd be causing a drop, in effect, causing a curve of the earth. You would end up revolving around on yourself. Well, no, that isn't true. Because here, in fact, it could be even higher than that because I'm at an elevation here. I wasn't at ground level. The horizon could be up here, But this is proving that what we see with our eyes isn't real. It's optical. This is an optical effect of the boat.
Yes.
And it's also proven that we don't know where the horizon is. On this day, we can't see it.
Yeah. Right.
And I've got loads of different things like this. I've got piranha boat.
Oh,
Let me show you piranha boat.
Yeah.
I'll show you one more, and then I'm gonna have to skedoodle.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I appreciate your work, man. We appreciate your work.
Yeah, man, massively.
This is good stuff, man. So, anytime you do something or you come and find out something, get in contact with us, man, and let's talk about it, man. Absolutely, because
for sure.
Can you see this?
Like what you're doing, Randy.
Yeah,
I heard a lot of good things about you from Sarah Christina. She told me a lot of good things about you, and I'm glad I got a chance to meet you. Absolutely, great work, man.
Yeah, me too.
Just another aspect, how smart people are.
That's insane. Look at that boat. Look at it.
That's the boat. The top part of the boat, halfway, that's the boat. That is literally the boat. Everything underneath it is a mirage, which proves that at least the horizon has to be above the midpoint of this mouth. It has to be, right? If not further. But what we're seeing is the mirage of the boat, which makes it look like it's, Barracuda. Barracuda boat.
It does. It does.
It does. Yeah.
Ranty, the footage is awesome. All of the footage I've seen that you've shown us tonight and the footage that I've watched on your channel is second to none, honestly.
Yeah, this is my first time. I'm definitely going to dive through it. I like good stuff like that.
I have thousands of videos. Thousands and thousands.
Have you documented them anywhere else other than YouTube?
No.
Wow. Could you be so good as to answer a couple of questions before you go? I've just got a couple of questions I want to ask.
Sure.
Ask you. What motivates you, and where does your energy mainly come from for this? What motivates you to do it?
What motivates me? Knowing that I've been lied to, and also let me just be completely honest, right? When I first joined the Flat Earth, the first person that I got speaking to was a guy called Anthony Riley. Now, I didn't realize that he had a ton of baggage with him. And when I say baggage, I mean ball earther trolls, literal trolls. Now, in my previous channel, I didn't have trolling. Nobody trolled me. I had my chemtrail videos, 400 videos or so. I had a healthy subscriber count. I didn't have trolls. I didn't know what a troll was, really. When I met Anthony, I didn't expect that to change. We did the observation at Blackpool. And then when we uploaded it, I uploaded the video and I was just, quite happy. And the next thing, I was inundated, literally inundated with trolls, troll after troll after troll. And the personality that I have is that I don't like to lose, and I don't like to have people trolling me, and I want to shut them up, and I want to carry on. Now, I'll be also clear about this, that I'd done the flat earth proof, you know, I'd have got over it within a couple of months, I'd have probably moved on. But the trolls continued. And the more I became more determined to shut them up, right? And now it's at the point where it literally is a war. And I won't stop until I've shut them all up and proved the flat earth. It's literally come to that. Now, if they hadn't have trolled me in the beginning, I probably wouldn't even be here right now. I'd just know the earth was flat. but now it's damn war. It really is war. It's like,
right. And that's what we were talking about before. It's an invisible war. You know, it's an invisible war.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. Oh, well, full respect to you, Ranty. Thank you for standing up and standing out. And it just goes to show, yeah, that shit comes back to bite them on their own ass. Yeah, like you just said, if they hadn't have trolled you as hard as they did, you probably wouldn't be doing what you're doing now. So
exactly.
And I want to ask you another question. I've been asking everyone this week. As far as you're concerned, where are we?
We're at the beginning. We haven't made a serious dent. We have made a dent. There are a lot of people out there that are doing some fantastic stuff. We are definitely growing. You guys are doing a fantastic job, I have to admit. You know,
thank you. Right back at you. Thank you, my darling. Cheers.
You are doing a fantastic job. I appreciate everybody that goes out and does this kind of activism, or any kind of activism in any respect, whether it's on just talking on YouTube, for instance. People like Ute and people like John Watson, for instance. Those two guys, they're stable flat earth guys that sit in the chats and they take on the trolls day in, day out, and they don't give them a minute's peace. They will defend the flat earth. Those guys are warriors.
Ute's a moderator in my chat as well. Full rating
to the chat room for all
bars and bars of AK-47s for Glowhead. So full ratings to you. He's been an awesome moderator in my chat room since I've added him as a moderator quite a while ago. Well said, Ranty.
Multi-Tom, another one. Yeah, I mean, these guys are deep down dirty. Get there. They don't mind bashing these ballers and defending the flat, because a lot of people that believe in the flat earth don't talk in the side chats. It's just the trolls. And these guys there, they're defending this stuff. Obviously they are activism, whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
This video is going to blow your mind, by the way, so I hope you're watching.
I'm watching.
This video
all eyes are on you, Ranty. All eyes are on you,
man. All eyes on you, man.
This video is going to blow your mind. It literally is going to blow your mind.
Whoa.
I called it Big Fish, Little Fish.
Hold on. What the flat is going on there, please? Hold on.
You gotta walk us through that one right there, because my eyes seem like they're playing tricks on me right now.
Whoa. Yo, I can still. Whoa.
Optical. This is what the optics do when we're looking over vast distances over water.
Wow.
I called it, like I say, big fish, little fish. So this was the big fish. There's the little fish. It looks like it's about to eat it, and then it jumps behind it, and then we actually get the reflection of the stellar line. We actually get
look at that. That's pretty cool.
And that is a flat earth proof, believe it or not, because you can't get this effect on a ball.
No, you can't. No, you can't. You're absolutely right. 100%.
The further you go, you're supposed to be going down, 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 down. Right. Absolutely. Real simple, man. Not hard stuff, man.
So yeah, we have some warriors in this debate, definitely, and you know, everyone does their own stuff, and you know, we might not agree with everything that everybody does, but you know, if it's promoting flat earth, I haven't a problem with it. There are some people I would avoid. IPS. I don't know if you've heard of that guy.
No,
yeah, we heard about him, but you know what kind of our motto is, Ranty? We kind of stay away from the kind of drama. You know, we try not to get like, I won't let nobody come on here talking about you or vice versa. So, because we understand what's going on, we just don't try to give it no energy or attention and stuff like that. So, you know, we just kind of like stay away from that.
It's true. It's true. Because there is some
just so you know what kind of
public health warning. Yeah, there are channels out there that should come with a public health warning. Honestly.
Yeah. Best way. I mean, the first time I ever met you was when I saw that Dell had put a video out about you. To be fair, I mean, I'm not getting. I don't want to talk about it though, because obviously it's just creating drama, and you know, I'm not really interested in the drama.
That's all. And you know, Ranty, we all on the same page. Well, I just don't want to give any fuel to no fires. I just want to, you know, I want to stay focused, man.
But like you said, though, it's like you said about the trolls with you, Ranty. If the trolls hadn't gone as hard as they did with you, you might not be doing what you're doing now. And I suppose if it wasn't for some of the drama, some people wouldn't even know about my channel in the first place. So I suppose it's like 50-50, isn't it?
Swings and roundabouts, it sure
It does. Yeah, it does. You're absolutely right.
So, yeah, this is Piranha boat. Again, we're seeing the same boat. So that boat that I've been showing you all day, right? This is that boat. But firstly, look how disfigured it looks on the top, because it's in crappy air. But you can definitely see the mirage zone where it comes across the center. It looks like a piranha now.
Yeah, you can see the windmills in the back too. That must be on land, because windmills.
No. That's the wind farms in the Irish Sea. Now this is where I get a lot of stick with the optics that are at play, because some people don't understand perspective. Things, you know, when I look at these wind turbines, the further away than, like, this wind turbine on the right is further away than this wind turbine here.
Gotcha.
Right.
It looks like that too. Right. It looks that way too.
And what's more, I've plotted every individual wind turbine on Google Earth, so I have them all mapped out. Right. So I can identify each one by number and name and the height of them, where they are, how far away they are from shore, etc. Everything about them.
Right.
So when we look at things like this, and we can clearly see that there is a blockage zone where this cursor is. There is a blockage zone because it's mirroring down the boat. So we can't see anything. If we go across here, we can't see anything. Literally everything we're seeing is either being miraged or blocked beneath the cursor, right? So when we look at things getting smaller in the distance, eventually they're going to meet this blockage zone, a mirage zone, and they're going to get blended into it, and people can't understand it. They can't perspective, right? So they just can't. So when they see things like this turbine blade that's bent right and then bent left, they don't understand that this is an optical effect. But this boat in the foreground is helping to show this same effect that's going on, you know. And my whole channel is about this optical effect. I mean, you know, there are other people that do stuff about the stars and the sun and the moon, and I've never got into that. There's people that do things on a whole host of other different stuff. My channel is completely to do with the optics that we see over water at distance. That's it. That's all my channel is about.
Yeah, that's what I love about your channel, because that's my main proof. My main proof that I'm not on a ball is the fact that I can see insanely long distances when I shouldn't be able to. So a channel like yours is like my daily dose of red pill re-up. I go on the red pill re-up. You know, it's another channel, like I point people in the direction of John Thor's channel as well. Because when you're out on the roads, people don't want, you know, to be honest, people don't really want 2-3 hour length content videos to watch. They want something that's quick pro quo, something that within an hour they can watch half a dozen things within an hour. And I find that you and John Thor's videos are incredibly helpful, and yours, Richard Lopez.
Absolutely, thank you. Absolutely,
especially the quick pro quo ones.
Can I just do a few shout outs to some people in chat? We've got
my darling.
Yes, please.
Joey Sylve.
Joey, what's up?
Joey,
I sent you the link, Joey, so you can come in. Come in and talk with us.
Yep.
I sent you the link, Joey.
Yep. Go for it. Yeah, Ranty, go for it. Do your shout outs, darling.
I'm looking through, but to be fair, I don't really. Oh, Rune, hello, Rune. Rune. I'm looking through all the people. You have so many people that I don't actually really have seen before. To be fair,
See, now, maybe that is a good thing, isn't it, Ranty? Because I'm hoping if you haven't seen some of the people that are in the chat room, then hopefully these people haven't seen you, and now they're exposed to your channel and exposed to the work that you do, which is what I think is great.
Ninja Man. Yes, I know Ninja Man. Daniel Razor, hello. Yes, I know you.
Yes.
Richie from Boston, right?
That's not Richie from Boston.
No, okay, no, excuse me. I thought Richie was back in. No, Richie B. Okay, my bad.
Oh, D Marble. Nice
D
to see
Marble,
you, my friend.
Flat Earth Offensive.
That's it. He's going to be here on Saturday evening. He'll be here with me on Saturday evening, so that's going to be great.
Hey,
absolutely brilliant.
Be cool if you could have me on at the same time.
Yeah, I'm down for that. If you're free on Saturday, Ranty, you're more than welcome to come on Saturday when D Marble's on. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, sounds good.
Good. I do love a good Saturday night. I might get a couple of drinks in.
I've had a couple of drinks tonight, actually, so...
I'm being quite a good girl. I'm being a good girl. I had a drink the other night. I'm going to wait until Friday night to crack open the bottle again. I'm going to be, straight as a die in the week and then have a drink at the weekend. For sure. For sure.
Now, check this out, Ranty. While I got you on here, check this out. I want to show you something. Then we can talk about this for a second if you want to.
Hang on. Can I have a quick wee and then I can spend 20 minutes with you? How's that? Yep. Let me go for a quick pee.
Absolutely. Go do your thing. And while you do that, I'm going to play this. Hey, Rob, you want to play that video real quick?
Me?
Yeah. You want to play the video real quick until Ranty comes back?
Yeah. What video is it? Shall I play?
The one.
The first one you sent me.
Yeah. In fact, I told Paul C's. Now we're gonna play that video real quick.
Yep.
Guys, check it out.
Let me just set it up.
Are
you talking about the music? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Hopefully, I'm gonna get this whole screen sharing thing right, guys. Yeah. This is okay. I'm hoping. Hold on. I've got a good idea here. Let me just get this set up. So sorry, guys. Just bear with me a second. I should have it on Ranty's screen. And once I've got it on screen share, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Move it to the side. La, la, la. Okay. And everybody. And then put it back on me. Hopefully that's working. With a bit of luck. Sorry, guys.
What's up, my people?
What up, Joey? Hey. Long time, baby. What's going on, boss?
Hey.
Joey in the house.
I saw y'all.
What's going on, Joey?
Say what's up. How y'all doing?
I'm glad you came on, dude. We got me and Roxanne got have some questions to ask you, boss. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Man. I see Ranty's going in, man. That's my guy.
Man, that's what's up. Man. Yeah, man. Shout out to the chat room, man. Yeah, man. You got D Marble in the house in the chat, huh?
Yeah,
love it.
That's what I'm talking about. D Marble in his bitch, Flat Earth Offensive.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Love it. Love it.
Absolutely.
What's up, Roxy? How you doing, baby?
Hello, my darling. I'm good, sweetheart. How are you?
I'm well. I can't complain at all, man. I had a pretty good day. I had a pretty good day. Tomorrow's going to be a pretty good day. So, I can't complain at all. I'm happy to be able to come on and join the chat, and answer any questions y'all have.
Love it.
Say what's up. Yeah.
Love it.
Yes,
that's what's up, man.
So, Joey, Richie, do you want me to play this track? Yeah,
go ahead. Go ahead, play this as well.
Play something. Go ahead and play it, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to my man Paul Caesar. You know what I mean? He made this. He's a flat earther, and I think people should see this.
Yes,
We'll wait till Ranty come back.
3, 2, 1, blast off!
Earth is flat.
The earth is flat, it's back, that 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 the earth. NASA allows us get to it around 1962ish. They tried to get through it the very first time. Mushroom clouds filled the sky. The Soviet Union and US got denied. The other side of the firmament, they couldn't access it. About that time, they couldn't pierce through the sky. Operation Fishbowl, go on and imagine it. And I ain't acting stupid when I say that space is fake. That this ain't no adding to it. See, the Masons made the Matrix maze and use religion to take away your faith. Hey, I guess I was just saved by grace, woke and not just a daily ate the face. And for a second, I ain't know if I should do this song, but then I thought, ain't no one could prove me wrong, cause it's fact that the earth is flat, 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 it's fact that the earth. NASA lies, they want you to believe that it's your eyes, the moon is 200,000 miles away. Nice try, they ask. Why would they lie? Say 50 million plus a day seems kind of high. Besides, we are the apple of his eye. Take away the dome when we're not. Are you surprised? And if so, why? Think about it, man. Really a big bang? Then evolution? How could we be stardust? That's as nuts as Isaac Newton. All the research that I've been doing, you can even do if you're blind and stupid. Get a book on tape or YouTube and view it. It all makes sense. They don't want you to see the truth or to believe the truth, because they believe you don't even need the truth. It's all made up, the elite, they're all in a club, and it's all gonna get worse. They signed it in blood, but in Yah's name, so I'm trying to tell y'all what's up.
Yeah. All season.
It's fact that the earth is flat. It's fact that the earth. It's fact that the earth is flat. 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 It's fact that the earth
definitely flat.
Yes, indeed, baby.
Yeah, definitely go. Joey, hey, Ranty, you back in?
I am, yeah. I wanted to ask you guys.
Yeah, you like that, right? Yeah, man. Me and Paul put that together.
Perfect.
Yeah, man. That was pretty good.
Yeah, Rich Lowe. Good job.
Brother. Yeah, man.
Great job on that one. Hey, what's up, Roxanne?
Hey, you're right.
Yeah, man.
Hey, do you guys believe in all that numerology stuff, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I'm familiar with that and the symbology. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, what's going on? What you got?
I got something for you. For you.
Roxanne.
Yep.
You want to go ahead and back on out and give Ranty has something for us.
Lovely. Okay, one sec.
Ranty, just so you know, okay, so you know Joey. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure you guys know each other.
Oh, that's my bro. That's my boy. I'm telling you, I'm a big follower of Ranty, man. He has great work.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'm just getting turned on to him right now.
No, dude. I don't
know where the hell I've been at.
Yeah, he has great work, man. I'm telling you. He has globe-busting photos that just destroy the globe. You know, the globe all together. You hear me?
Blown away, man.
Yeah, the Flat Earth Debate, they do a good job. Him, Nathan Oakley, who else? Anthony Riley. They all do a great job of busting, you know. We got them on our side. I think we're going to do well. That camaraderie earlier. It's all about meshing well with, you know, everybody, no drama, you know, keeping it focused about the truth, you know. I think we'll go well when we go there and we stick with that, you know, and lose the egos. I think we'll be fine. The ego is what's going to stop us, man. I'm telling you. I know I've seen it done before. If we can move the ego aside and become empathic, you know, become empaths towards each other, man, we'll be unstoppable. We got to
absolutely.
each other, though. on with these. But yeah, man. Go ahead, Ranty. I'm sorry.
No, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. I mean, most revolutions is essentially would fail from the inside. You know, I mean, things get brought down from the inside. It's not losing the battle; it's you lose it from your people that you associate with. So, you know, let's all work together. Apparently, that's my that's my
Absolutely.
thing.
Yes, sir.
I'm with you on that one.
Agree more, sir.
I'll drink to that.
Absolutely. 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 Yeah.
Well, I got something for you. So the first ever 360 spacewalk. Hey, hello.
Yep.
Are you guys seeing this? Yeah.
Yep, we sure are.
Oh,
Yep,
yes,
everyone's
I see it. I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first ever 360 spacewalk, apparently, by RT, was released, right? So I want you to pay attention to the number 22. So the number 22, if you go to tarot, you know, what the tarot would say for the number 22 would be to fool the world, right?
Okay.
To fool the world is the number 22. In numerology, it's called the master builder, spiritual master in form, etc. Right? So tarot is to fool the world. So in the 360, first ever 360 spacewalk from RT, look at this. This was in, you can go check it now because it's still, the video's still up. So if I play the video from here, let me just pause that. Take that off. Sorry. But look what's reflected in the astronaut's visor. And when you scroll in,
wow, look at that! Look at that! Wow,
that's crazy.
Wow.
Bro.
Is that the number 22? Is that to fool the world?
Look at that!
There are no coincidences, man. You know,
look,
you're damn right.
You know it, Joey. There's no coincidences.
Yep.
I saw this, and I thought, I watched it live. Well, I didn't watch it live. I watched it back, and I was like, "What was that I just saw? That I'm sure I saw something pop up. There, just that little, like 2 or 3.
It's literally there. Yep.
It's fine, man.
Wow.
So I went back and I enhanced it, and I looked at what they were trying to say, and it's number 22. 22 to fool the world. The first ever 360 spacewalk. Hello.
Wow.
Yep, it's right there. Yep.
Right there in plain sight. Right there in plain sight.
Right. How much more you need to see, people? You know what I mean? Like, wow. And they believe it.
They believe it. It's so true.
And they believe it.
Man.
This is the funny thing, yeah.
Brainwashed humans around here, man. I'm telling you, it's so many brainwashed sleeping, you know, humans that don't have a clue about nothing. You know, so that's why we gotta come on harder than ever right now. You know, right now is very important. You know, the time is now. You know, and I agree with y'all. 100%, I agree.
But here's the thing, yeah. I mean, this video was put out on the 16th of October last year, so we're talking nearly a year ago. I've had 312 views, 14 likes, including myself, and 8 dislikes. Go figure, right?
I'm not right with that. There's something not right with that. I would have thought that would have had more like 30,000.
Yeah, that would be out like 1 million views right now. Yeah. I'm gonna get to it. You know, I'll put it out there, man.
I mean, I'm not faking anything. This was from RT. It was literally on their site. It was RT.
I'm gonna break that down. That's unbelievable.
Number 22. Wow. It's literally to fool the world. I mean, come on. I mean, if you're looking for some number that's going to do anything, the first ever 360 spacewalk. I mean, come on.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
It's just,
yes, indeed.
Everything they do is just nonsense.
It is. It's criminal. That's why I'm going to go to the British Space Agency. I'm going to go make up noise out of the British Space Agency. Yep. I want some money back.
Right. Yes, indeed. I would love the money back. Absolutely.
They think you're being astronauts. But let you put on like a police officer, you know, outfit and wear a fake badge, man, or take you to jail, man. It's a federal offense. Man, you know, this is criminal, man.
It really is criminal, man.
It is. It's the biggest criminal fraud that's ever gone on.
Yes,
That's
It is.
crazy.
And, you know, you wake up every day, and we have to deal with this. You know, us truthers. You know, we wake up to know this knowledge, to wake up every day knowing the same thing, and it's frustrating. It can really get to you, man. To the weak-minded person out there that's a truther, it can really get to you and affect you. So you got to humble you know, and that's why you got to talk amongst your peers, you know. And I think that's what helps us out. And I think that's why we always come back to the live chats, to, you know, amongst each other, you know, because we, you know, I hate to use this word, but we gravitate towards each other, you know, because we're thinking on the same patch, you know, same wavelengths, you know. So keep up what y'all doing, man. I'm loving it. I'm telling you, I'm loving it. It's a lot of closet flat earthers, flat closet truthers in my school system. I'm telling you, principals, teachers, all kinds, man.
Like my daughter's got a flat earth teacher. My daughter's got a flat earth geography teacher at her school. So
yes, ma'am. So they're out here. It's just they don't want to come out and about with it, and they don't want to look stupid, basically. You know, and that's what I'm trying to do on my Facebook page. You know, I'm trying to put it out there. Everybody know.
Hardcore.
You know, and you know, if you have it like, hey, post it, you guys gonna go to 3,000 people that really need to see it. You know, principals, educators, you know, big time people. So when I'm tagging y'all, I'm trying to include y'all into this thing that I'm doing.
I'm trying to show you, absolutely. And I appreciate it. Because I love when you tag me. You know what I mean? There's certain people I don't like to tag me, but I love you already know. It's all family. It's all good, Joe. You already know what it is. You're on the same page, doing the same thing, man. You know what I'm saying? You see something dope, tag me, man. I'll put it in I'll put it right in Flat Earth News and Reports. Absolutely.
There's always room for improvement, man. You know?
That's right.
There's always room for improvement. You know, and I tell my players that all the time. You know, I got some cocky little players, you know, and I tell them, look, it's a thin line between cocky and convinced, you know, but walk that tightrope. You know, walk that tightrope. You know that you got a little bit of cockiness, a little bit of, you know, be convinced though. You know that you have it, you know. But in order to do that, you got to work hard at it, you know, in order to get to that point. So, and I think that's where we are. You know, we're at that working phase, you know, where we have to bust our ass at this, you know, because they're not going to take it easy, you know. They want that globe to be in order, you know. They want that to be number one, you know, and that's what I'm dealing with right now, you know. Oh yeah, but we're gonna get this thing going, man. It's Flat Earth Defensive all the way. You hear me? We're gonna do this all the way.
Absolutely.
So keep it up.
Yeah.
And absolutely. And Joey, you know, for the people that don't know, you know what Joey do. Joey is assistant principal, man. He's in the education, man. And would you like to tell everybody what kind of, like we was talking about the other day, kind of bring people up to speed that wasn't in the group about what you do, what you had to go through, what you're going through now, because that's something that I want to keep up, that me and Roxanne want to keep up with you and keep tabs with you on a regular basis, because at the end of the day, if you need support, I want to be there to make sure that we all got your back for you, man.
You're right, man. Look, I appreciate it.
Go ahead.
I'll put you up to speed with everything. Look, this is my first time pretty much on the live stream. Fully, I'll tell y'all everything. I'm a teacher. I've been teaching for 12, 13 years. I'm an ex-college football player, man. I played a little ball out of college and won a national championship back in 2000. I did all my football playing, did all them days. They were some great days, you know. Now I'm a certified educator, you know. I got a master's in educational leadership, which makes me you know, administrator, principal, assistant principal, some types. Right now, I mentor other principals right now. I'm also assistant principal in New Orleans East. I also a personal train on the side, and but I'm also, the main thing, I'm a father, you know, and I'm a truther, and I want this truth out. And like I said, guys, I love y'all. I feel like y'all my brothers and sisters, you know. I think we have information that a lot of people don't have a clue about. You hear me? And I know this for a fact because I try to wake people up daily, you know. And we all do it in our own little ways. But yeah, like I said, I do it daily, and I mean, I'm talking to doctors, you know, big time professionals, you know, professors, you know, and they don't want to break, man. They're used to that globe and this whole globe theory, you know. You know, and that's the reason we got to put that theory behind it all, you know. It's a globe theory, you know. It's not the globe fact, you know. When they're telling me to teach this, they want me to teach this as fact, and that's what's so sad. You know, it's a theory. It's a heliocentric theory. You know, it's an evolution theory. It's a germ theory. It's all theoretical, you know, and that's what we got to put back in there. Now, the course I got going on, and what it's been struggling to get past, but the course I got past is called Alternative Theory. That's what it's called. So it's cosmological type of stuff that goes from Hindu, you know, to everything, African, all kind of cosmologies. So it's going to hit on everything like that. It's going to hit on the heliocentric, but I'm put across is that flat Earth theory. It's got to be alternative theory. Theory. You know, they emphasize that about flat Earth, you know, but they want to make the globe fact, you know. So that's one thing to mention, you know. So that's what I'm going through. I have a lot of it's a lot of politics going on with it. But I'm telling you guys, there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm telling you, the people are waking up. People are waking up daily. I got emails galore. You know. So right. So
I want to let everybody know in the chat room that they already know. Joey's, like I said, he's an educator, and he has to deal with his teachers.
Yeah.
So he's awakened to the truth, and he's like, I can't have my teachers, you know, teaching these kids a bunch of lies. So he's working at the top level. You know, he's going to board meetings, fighting with superintendents, just so they can have this conversation about the scientific method about flat Earth.
Correct.
So go ahead and expand on that a little bit, Joey. Go ahead and tell the people what's going on.
Yes, and what I do when I patrol the halls and when I come into these classrooms, my biggest thing, and I want the kids, and they all know, the parents know me, the kids know me, they all know that I want them to question what they're being taught. You know? Do not accept this stuff and say, okay, this is fact. No, it's a theory. It's a theory, but I want you to question it. I want you to analyze it.
Right.
I want you to go through the hypothesis, the scientific method, you know, and I want you to really decipher this in your brain, you know, and understand that it is theoretical, you know. Go to the root of the issue, you know. But the main thing for me, man, is just questioning their teachers, you know, and I want to hold their teachers. So, yeah, man, we're doing okay right now, you know. We're in a beta state, but we're doing okay. We're doing well. I will keep you posted on everything that's going on. They won't let me release the videos from the board meetings yet for, I guess, you know, political reasons or whatnot. Okay. But when I have them all, so when I do, I'll give them to y'all first, and y'all be the first to see those videos.
Oh, wow. Absolutely. Appreciate that, man.
It's been wild. Please don't post them yet. Please, Coach. You know, please don't post them yet. You know, I respect that. So I won't post them yet, just yet. But it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll be waiting on that. So what kind of obstacles and challenges that you find yourself dealing with every day? Like, do you have any awakened teachers that you know, or you know what's going on with that?
Oh, absolutely, man. I get the everyday ridicule like everyone else does, you know. Oh, flat Earth coach, flat Earth, whatever. You know, and but what I do with the truth of the matter, you know, that bodies don't curve, you know. It's the basic facts of the whole flat Earth truth, you know. And it's not really a theory at all to us, you know. We know it is fact, you know. But I deal with a lot of little cocky, little rich political people that really don't want this out there. They don't want it out there, and they're gonna do whatever it takes to keep that globe in charge, you know. And a lot of these guys happen to be Freemasonic guys. You know, go figure. You know? There's a lot of Freemasonic guys that want that power. They're like, oh yeah, flat Earth, you'll never get that pass. You'll never get that pass. So I get all the ridicule that goes with it, but I also get the good stuff that comes with it, all the perks. I get all the great perks, you know. For instance,
love that.
One quick story. I was a science teacher, right? She was straight globe theory, heliocentric theory. She thought about the globe. She taught the globe. She's forced to teach the globe, you know. But I had to talk with her after class, and we went out to eat, you know. I had dinner with her. Long story short, once I brought all the facts to her, showed her a few videos, you know, 2 nights later, she was calling me back saying, oh, my God, Coach. Oh, my God, I cannot believe that we've been lied to all my life, you know. So needless to say, she's a flatty now.
Nice.
You know, but she's a closet flatty. Yeah, she's a closet flatty, but she's up there teaching the lie.
Nice.
You know, and it's break. I'm trying to break that lie, you know. And we're doing that. We're taking baby steps towards that process, and I think we're going to do well. I think we're going to do well.
I think there's hope for the truth when we know that there's people in the education system that are trying to
absolutely yes. That's right.
Generation waking a next generation. Never witnessed a generation trying to wake a generation up like we are. We're trying to wake them up before they've completed the indoctrination process. which is a serious advantage compared to some of us. We completed the indoctrination process before we got an opportunity to wake up. But now we're stunting them halfway through, and we're saying, look, before you suck yourself too far into this, wake up.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that they can't still navigate through the academic world, because my daughter's almost 16 years old. She has been awake now for 3.5 years, and she is in the top 3% grade of her year. So
that's great.
This goes to show that you can be awake and still navigate the academia world.
Absolutely. Look, and Roxy, I got a 7-year-old, and she knows all the sides. She knows the globe theory, and she's a flatter. You know, she can teach our friends the flat earth, you know, truth. She knows, like, she's not a fool at all to it, but she also knows that globe, though. She knows the heliocentric theory.
Absolutely.
Well, I think he's forewarned, is forearmed, isn't it?
7 years old.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it. When they know it, they
absolutely. Yeah, we know truth. You know, we know truth when we see it. You know, it's a lot of deceptive things going out here, you know, on our plane of existence. But we know truth when we see it. You know, and that's what we all hear.
Feel the truth, right?
We all hear, man.
Right.
Yep, you do. You feel it for sure.
Yeah,
yep.
absolutely.
Keep it up, guys. I'm proud.
Absolutely. You know what? I was talking to you. Yeah, I appreciate that, Joey, man. Same to you. But you know what? I was talking to you about, you know, that school teacher. She's very, very popular on Facebook. Her name is Rubia Garcia. She's an educator.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was friends with her on Facebook. I started talking to her about the flat earth because I was like, she's an educator. She needs to stop talking about Donald Trump and get up on this flat earth. Yeah, and she kind of like unfriended me and shit, blah, 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 blah. But if you could get, if you could like, you find out what school, I would think, you know, we need to write her a letter because she has a lot of following. And all somebody got to do is just say, can I talk to you for a second? Because that's how reasonable she is. You know what I mean? And it's a done deal, Joey.
You're right, dude. And look, I'm going to tell you what's going on with her. She's afraid of looking, she's afraid of looking stupid, you know, and people, they fear. They fear the fact that, I don't want people to look at me, you know, I don't want to make me look like I'm dumb and uneducated, you know, and that's what's going on. They, you know, it's their ego. It's their ego, man. We got to put the ego aside, you know. Once we put that ego aside, I'm telling you, we'll grow as a whole, you know, we'll grow and change will occur, you know. It'll be easy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also, too, in our future shows.
Put the ego aside, man.
That's right. And just connect with each other with love and humility.
No doubt.
Obviously, we're only human, right? And when people come on the attack mode, we will eventually get to the point where we've got to stand up for ourselves, yeah? But as long as you enter the conversation with...
Yep. No doubt about it, man.
Absolutely. Did we just lose her for a second? Okay. Okay, we have lost you for a second. Just want to make sure.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. When people come at you, I suppose it's not the fact that people are coming at you. That's inevitable. With the conversations that we're having, people are going to come at us. It's about how we handle it that defines us.
Absolutely right.
Hey, Joey, while we have you on too, let me ask you a question because you know me, I'm a domer. You know what I mean? I'm a domer. It makes sense to live in an enclosed system, like a self-containing terrarium. You know what I mean? You know. So, and I think that I mean, my personal. This is what I think. I think that people that go away from the dome is kind of like they don't want to accept the truth that we have a creator, and you know, and it's just obvious. I mean, whatever. I'm not going to expand on that. Are you a domer? Are you a domer, or are you a, you know? I mean, what's going on?
My brother, yes, I am a domer all day.
I'm a domer.
Yes, I'm a domer. Okay.
Domer.
Sure. And I'm a domer because my reasons. I have a lot of great reasons why I'm a domer. You know.
Absolutely.
You know, we be enclosed, like Ranty said earlier. You know, we got to be a contained system. You know, and it's a pressurized system. Come on, you know, it makes much sense. We know nothing's leaving this firmament. We know nothing's going anywhere.
Correct.
You know, we've seen rockets go up there, and we've seen what happened to them. You know. You know, so I'm a domer all the way, man. You know,
all the way.
Very vast plane.
And you know what?
Very, very vast plane, but it's a dome for sure.
Come on. It's it. You know what? You know what did it? Operation Fishbowl, man.
No doubt.
Operation
That's
Fishbowl, man.
Yep. That's one of my.
I mean, I looked at, I studied that. I mean, I just studied that. Studied the video, and I'm like,
high jump, high jump, all of them, man. Yeah, you gotta just think about it.
Operation Fishbowl.
Yeah, show it up to the camera. Show it up to the camera.
Operation Fishbowl. I don't know if you guys can see that, but
yeah, we can. We can.
You know, it clearly, you know, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'll show you this picture. You know, it clearly hit something, man.
For sure.
You know,
sure. Yeah.
So, dude, you know, clearly hit something.
I'm with you all the way. Hey, Rich Lowe, I'm with you all the way, brother. I'm a domer all the way. I get, you know, I get dogged a little bit from some of my friends, you know, in the flat earth community. But hey, I'm a domer all the way, man. You know, I'm not denying it. You know, so
right.
It is what it
you know,
is.
And it's just something that, right? It's something I don't believe in. I just think because I can't prove dome, but all the evidence shows. I mean, just the preponderance of evidence. Because think about it. Back in the '60s, what do you think they were bouncing the signals off?
Dude, that's
not off the thin air. They were bouncing it off the dome.
Thank you. That's my main reason. That's my main reason for knowing that it's a dome, man. You know, you think about the RAND system, you think about, you know, all the stratosphere type of you know, technology that they've used, man. Yeah, they've been bouncing stuff off the dome forever. You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a few books out there I can recommend. Next time I come on to it, I'll recommend these books. I got about 5 of them that actually talk about people that attempted to go up there and they had to face that firmament. They had to face the invisible. They call it invisible barrier. You know, but that's the firmament. You know, I'm insensible, man. When you do your research about it, it's clear as day. You know?
And feed your mind. If you guys out there in the chat, if you guys want to look more into this, man, Feed Your Mind has a lot of great research on the firmament. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, Feed Your Mind 1 and Feed Your Mind 2. Yep.
Absolutely.
On YouTube and
good stuff.
Facebook. So
all
over. Hey, Ranty.
Shout out to Feed Your Mind. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. It's great.
Do you have any other recommendations, Joey? Like, what are your favorite YouTube channels to watch? Like, what's your favorite content channels to watch?
I love for sure. I gotta, you know, I was a Dubé fan for sure. You know, Dubé slapped the shit out of me. He slapped some truth into me. You know, so I gotta give him his props first. But Dave Murphy, Dave Murphy, like I said,
shout out to Dave Murphy.
Yes, Dave Murphy taught me a lot, you know. But out of them, I would go Shazar Bugti. I know it's a crazy name, but Bugti. It's Bugti. All right, he puts, you know, and I think more people need to get hip to him. Who else? I would go with Ranty Flat Earth for sure. Got to give a shout out to Ranty Flat Earth.
I mean, he's jumped up to the favorites already. I'm like, I can't wait to dive in his stuff.
Yes, indeed. So I got to go with my brother down offensive all day. You know, we
down absolutely all day.
The flat defensive is what's happening right now, man. I'm telling you.
Down offensive. That's right.
I'm telling you, Daryl's doing some great work out there.
That's right. Absolutely.
Check out Daryl.
Right.
Let's see. Let's see. Who else can I go with? You know, I give a shout out to let's see, Sleeping Warrior, Anthony Riley.
Absolutely. Shout out to
people like Riley, but I like his lawyer style. You know, I like his little lawyer style. He comes across. You know, him and Randy, they're a good team. They're a good team, and Nathan Oakley. You know, but it's a lot of great truth channels out there. You know, it's a lot of fake ass people out there as well, you know. But you
just got to use good discernment. You got to use good discernment. You got to use a good. And that's another question I wanted to ask as well. Actually, you know.
Did she cut out, Joey?
Yeah, she cut out, man. Yep.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, with people. Critical thinking, what do you think is going to be needed to help unlock critical thinking amongst individuals?
It's going to be
to unlock more. Yeah,
it's going to amongst individuals. It's going to to me, it's going to be the ones at the top of the education system. You know, it's going to be somebody coming at the top of that system saying, you know what, look, you know, there's a better way. There's a better way. We're lying to our children, you know. It's going to take somebody waking, you know, the higher ups, you know, at the upper echelon, the big dogs calling the shots, you know. You know, it's going to take them waking up, because that's who I deal with the most, you know. And I'm telling you, it's a lot of old people on these school boards that are stuck in their ways, you know. So it's going to take somebody come and lead the way, you know, that's the head of these school boards that can take control and say, look, you know, it's a lie. We got to stop teaching our kids lies, you know. We got to stop teaching them theories, you know. It don't have to be theoretical all the time. Let's go with the scientific method, and let's roll with these facts. There's a lot of facts about our world, you know, about our plane of existence, you know. And I think that's what it's going to take. It's going to take somebody coming at the top of these educational systems, all right, and then working our way down with it. Yeah, right. But other than that, with us, it's just going to take us. It's going to take camaraderie. We got to lose the egos, you know, and I was here first. I'm the first flat earther. I did this. You know, forget all that. Forget all that, man. All right, respect is given, you know, whenever you earn it.
That's right.
It's real simple. You know, you got to earn that shit. It ain't just given, you know, and I think that's where it comes with people in the flat earth community and life in general, you know. So I think we're on the right path. You know, I think the fakes will wean themselves out, but real recognizes real every single day of the week. You know, real recognizes real. I think we'll be okay.
I fully agree.
I have a quick question, though, while we're on that point. Like, what type of advice would you have to give to other educators to either how to look into this, how to deal with this, you know, to overcome some of their fears? You know, a lot of them got, you know, families, jobs. They want to keep their jobs. You know, they got to play the system, you know.
What I did, man, first and foremost, you have to stop being afraid to think outside the box. You know, you open mind pretty much, you know. So when, you know, you can start looking outside the box, you know. We're taught certain things in college that we have to follow as educators, as teachers, as coaches, you know. But when you look outside of that and you start thinking outside the spectrum, you know, and you start realizing that there's truth, you know, other ways, and that you've been learning a theory this whole time, you know, I think that helps it out. You have to be open-minded with it all, you know. And when you start to look, and if you are open-minded, when you start to look, you're going to realize truth. You're going to recognize truth firsthand, you know, and that's when discernment comes in, you know. One must learn how to discern what's truth and what's fake, you know. You know, so it's just awakening phase. You go through an awakening phase, and people get woken up all kind of ways that wakes you up, you know. You stick with that, and you try to wake others up, you know. But you got to gain the information first, you know. You got to gain the information. You can't go fight. You with a day, come on, ammo, nice. You know, you got to cut it up. You're going to really want to win that battle. It's just power, man. And that's what's going to win the battle in the end. Us being
absolutely. Good. Well said. Well said.
Then the controllers up there. So, right?
Massive.
Ranty, did you have any?
We can do it.
Ranty, did you have any questions for Joey?
That's it. I mean, Rich Low. That's it, brother.
No, it's all good.
Rich, questions for Joey? Oh, man,
great work, guys.
No.
Keep up the great work. I love y'all.
Yo, man, I love you too, Joe, man. I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate you dropping in. And definitely keep us posted. Let me know. You always welcome, buddy.
Absolutely. I appreciate you.
What? Flat Earth Offensive, baby. You already know.
Absolutely. Every day of the week.
Absolutely. Flat Earth Offensive is in UK now. So it's a done deal. It's a wrap. You know what I mean? Details to be found.
Massive love for you to coming on.
Right. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely, my brother. Absolutely.
Hey, thank you, Roxanne. You keep it up, sis. You to us, man. All day, great work. Low, keep it up. I'm a big fan of you, brother. Keep up the great work. Louisiana loves.
Absolutely, my brother. I appreciate the love, man. I appreciate the love. Yo, stay tuned, man. I'm gonna show everybody some dope, some dope footage I got.
I will.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna start a little dinner, and then I'll come and check on y'all. I'll be in the chat though.
Okay, my man. My man.
Take care, baby.
Peace, okay, man. Be safe,
Take
Joe.
care, darling. Thank you.
Love you.
Yes.
Aww. Thank you.
And I have to say too, I've got to go too as well because
No worries. No worries. I'm with Richard on that one. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. A million thank yous for showing us everything that you have done today. It's been a world of information, and I hope a lot of people in the chat room have managed to get a lot out of that as well.
Can we actually,
anything that we can have to aid and abet us with the conversation we're having with people out on the roads is a massive, so thank you. And maybe if you're free, maybe you'll be able to come back another time and show us some more stuff, if that's all right.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, you haven't seen a quarter of the stuff or a tenth of the stuff.
We've not even scratched the tip, have we? Literally. Awesome, yeah. So maybe if you're free on Saturday, you'd be able to come back.
Sure, yeah.
With D-Marble, yeah? Awesome.
Yeah,
that sounds like a plan. I'll get a few drinks in, and we'll make an evening of it.
All right.
He's gonna take
Okay. I'll definitely see you guys then.
All right, my darling. I'll put your link in the description box for your channel, so everyone click that link and go over and subscribe to Ranty's channel, man. Get a lot of information from him. Okay. Massive love to you, darling.
Absolutely. Just one thing, Richard's channel link doesn't work.
No? Okay.
No, it doesn't work.
I'm on it. Let me edit it right now. Cool. Okay. I'm still a bit of an amateur, so I'm gonna have to go through them all. No worries. Thank you, darling. I'll fix it right now.
I'm subscribed to you, Ranty. I can't wait to dive into your work, man. Appreciate everything you do. If nobody appreciate you, we do. I do.
Big time. I do. Massively.
Absolutely.
Massively. 100%.
Respect, man. Respect.
Right. Good night, people, and see you again.
Take care, darling. Massive love. Good night.
I'd like to show everybody this. If you tuned in, found some, show everybody this.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
I'm just going to fix the link while you do that, yeah?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
So, yeah, everyone, we're not done yet, you know. We're not done yet. That's this hangout just starting. Just starting. Sorry, that was the intro. Y'all have just seen the intro. Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Check this out.
Everyone ready?
This is up there, baby, right? This is real, folks.
Flick it over to you, Richard.
Yeah, this is real, folks. This is real.
This is some real life footage, real world.
This is.
Should we call it real Earth footage?
It is.
Yeah.
It's all flat, folks.
Everyone looking at this. They're looking.
Look at that. That's just amazing, right?
It is, isn't it?
That's pretty cool, right? And this is the first one where you can actually do a 360. Literally, look at the sun, like a spotlight. Look at that. Just look at that. So I'm gonna stop it for a second. Look at that. Yeah, all flat, man. It's all flat, man. Totally different for what NASA is showing you and indoctrinating. Look at a spotlight. Look at that. Excuse me. Looks like a spotlight.
It's crazy.
It was tethered to something. I don't know if it's inside the dome or outside the dome. I don't know, man. I can't verify that. I don't know. It looks like it's on the inside of the dome, but who knows? You know, this is a special place we live in. Look at this. Spotlight. It just looks like a spotlight. Right? I want to see if I can find the moon in here.
Is the chat room seeing this?
Huh?
We know whose video this is. I just want to see if anyone else in the chat room's clued up. I'm not going to tell them whose video it is, but I want to see if anyone else in the chat room knows. Does anyone else know whose video this is in the chat room? Anyone in the chat room? Any takers? Does anyone know? Whose content is this?
Look at this. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do. Yeah, this is really nice stuff right here. Really good. Once you play stop, you know, you could actually, you know.
I think you can play it and do it at the same time, if I'm right.
Oh yeah, I can. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I just wanted to show, you know, what kind of things you could do with this. You know.
Love it.
Just amazing. It's amazing. So while this is going, you could just look down. You know, look at that.
So the chat room saying, amazing. Another person, Amanda, the sun is right there.
Right there. Look
Someone
at
else
that.
has said, no other stars. Someone else has said, Cali Globe Deniers mum's officially connected. Hello, Mama Links. Nice for you to be here. Someone has guessed, is this footage NASA's? Nope, it's not NASA's.
It ain't NASA.
And someone has said, yep, I bet it's not NASA's video. It's not NASA's, correct? I almost said ASA's.
You would see a CGI ball, right? Yeah, this is real. You know, it must be during the day time because you can't see the stars. I've been noticing a lot of things like that.
Correct.
You know, I believe like the blue sky. This is just what I think. That the blue sky is the color of our ceiling, and at nighttime it's just transparent. You can see right through it, just like if you was in a planetarium. I think that's where you get the idea from. You know, the heavens are the one that's moving, not the earth.
Well, this is what worries me, okay? This is what we should be talking about. Right. We should be talking about the fact that there is no 360-degree real Earth footage over 50 kilometers in altitude.
Nope, this is it. You're seeing it for the first time, folks. You see it right here. And you go here and you could just look all around, zoom in and do things. I mean, so, you know, you got to check this out. This is really good stuff right here. I was like, when I saw this, I was like, my mouth was just like, mouth drop.
Yes, of course you will get to know who it belongs to. It belongs to, you want to say it or I'll say it?
No, I didn't want to, you know, disclose that, man. But go ahead. You can tell them.
Yeah, so the chat room would like to know whose content
we can put the link in the description too as well.
Oh, yes, we can. We can put the link in the description. First and foremost, I'll put it in the chat box for you all.
This is, you know, this is just more proof, man, right here.
Yeah.
We're not playing around. You know, expose the lies and demand answers. Me and chat, you know, me and Roxanne are going to start calling up, you know, NASA and all these agencies.
Oh, you're damn right. Oh, yeah, you better believe it. We're going to be doing that.
Right, live. So you can tune in and hear their responses. You know what I mean? And we're not going to be talking about the flat earth. That's for damn sure. You know what I mean? You know, we don't even need to have that conversation. You know what I mean? We're going to come at it like we already know it's flat. But why is this? Why is that? You know what I mean? We're going to ask some questions. I don't see nobody doing that.
In the chat box. The links in the chat box for the content.
Right, exactly. And I don't see nobody doing that. So I'm going to actually do that. Also, too, is the next thing guys I want to show you is I don't know if you know, I've been really pushing this archaeology.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Now we're going to get into the main course of the content. Yeah, we're about to get a bit deep into the whole history of what we've been taught and some different bits and pieces that are going out now. I give full respect to everybody that slows down and starts to look into what they were looking into. Now, just like Ranty said, he hasn't looked at the moon and all them other things. He's concentrated on what he's concentrated on. I've concentrated on the subjects that I've concentrated on. And over the next few days and weeks and months, we're gonna go through those subjects until we actually get somewhere with them. Right. And so this evening, we thought we'd kick that off with connecting the dots, which we've been doing for the last hour or so. And now we're going to move on to connecting some dots a little bit more with the whole his story part of it. So Richard is about to show us some content. And I would just ask you to slow down. And before you write certain subjects off, because listen, even us that know the globe is a lie, yeah, we're quick to completely write off other subjects that are just as important in connecting all the dots. And even me, myself, I need to slow down and listen to some of these subjects that by myself, I don't really have the patience to sit down and look at because I know it's a lot of work to sit down. But if someone else has done that research and someone else is happy to, over an hour, give you a synopsis of 6, 8, 9, 12 months worth of research, then I'm one for sitting down and doing that. And that's really where Richard's coming from right about now. Yeah, this is one of the subjects he's looked into, and he's gathered quite a fair amount of content to kind of make a case for it. So, you know, I'd ask you to just hear him out on this one, yeah, because I got a little bit of a sneak peek earlier on, and I was glued to the screen. Like some of you may have seen some of this content before,
right.
But just hear the way Richard is connecting these dots for you, and see if any of this resonates with you, yeah.
Right. So thank you, Roxanne, because that
Cool.
A lot of people are waking up to the flat Earth, but they're not waking up to the other deceptions and other things out there. So I'm always going to say this: the archaeology and the piece of the puzzle is going to be the main. It's a main tool. It's a main bullet you could use in your gun.
And unless we look at these things and all talk about it amongst each other, and that's what I want to stress. Richard is definitely not going to be sitting on a pedestal right about now, preaching to you, like telling you, I know this and I know that. He's saying, look at this. Look at this. Do you see that too? This is what I'm seeing. So for everybody that's in the chat room and everybody that's watching this on a replay, please do not think Richard's out there telling anyone how to suck eggs. We all know we're grown folk. We all know we've gone through some kind of arduous journey to get to the arena of the globe lie. Yeah. And that's why we're all just appealing each other to just communicate with humility, have a little bit of patience with people, and roll with it, so to speak. Yeah. But no one's telling anybody to believe something, right, or to, you know, only listen to what we're saying here. This is another subject in many subjects that connects the dots. So yeah, that was just a little disclaimer for everybody watching. Go for it, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not. This is just like, hey, what do you think about this? And, you know what I mean? And if you have any kind of questions, ask them or whatever. I'm not telling you to believe anything. You know, well, we are past the point of belief. We're past. That's the problem. That's how we got in this problem in the first place, off of belief. We're just so damn gullible to believe anything. I think that's why they got the phrase, you know, I sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. You know what I mean? Because some people are so, you know, retarded, they'll buy anything. So as I was waking up, I woke up to the flat Earth. I found something really fascinating. Was that this place was, you know, much different from what we have been told, but, you know, in all aspects. So as I was doing the research, I came across, you know, about the Nephilim, you know, about the Titans, and then the giants. And there's overwhelming proof that the Smithsonian's been covering up, you know, the giants. And this is what I think that, and you know, they had to give us the dinosaurs so it could fit their, you know, heliocentric model and, you know, the Big Bang theory, and, you know, and they purposely hid the giants. They destroyed giant bones. They destroyed this information. They didn't teach this to us. And there's overwhelming evidence across this flat plane of existence about giants. So I put together something, just like a little montage of, you know, different things. So, you know, if you're at home or wherever you're at, you know, you can take a look at this and just use your own discernment, you know.
And somebody tagged me in a picture on Facebook, and it was of this, and it's really reminded me of the Paul Bunyan cartoon, which I'm going to show you in a second. But what I find so interesting is that because more and more people are becoming so aware and believing in the existence of giants and titans, that more and more things are just becoming so blatantly obvious to us now. And you know, every single day my mind is blown by what is out there. It's absolutely incredible. So I'm just going to quickly show you this.
Well, sir, they left lots of tracks behind them. And come spring, those tracks filled with water, and this area became known as the land of 10,000 lakes.
How amazing is that? It's incredible. So I even started, like, this is where it is, apparently, the land of 10,000 lakes. And yeah, like, I've been checking this out, and it is literally It really is the land of 10,000 legs.
It is.
But what I found so interesting is that we know that Disney put all these truths into the films, and they mix it with lies, and obviously they mix it with other things, that there are other agendas as well. But what's to say that this literally was not the playground of a titan or a giant? You know, what is to say that this is not the remains of something that was a lot bigger than what we could ever comprehend, that we would be ant-sized in comparison? You know, there is just so much that we are now learning about our world. We know that everything we're told is a lie. We absolutely know that everything given to us scientifically is 99% of the time rubbish. You know, there is something really incredible happening with the amount of people that are waking up and the amount of people that are bringing information forward, doing their own research, looking into the things for themselves. And, you know, things are happening now, and they're happening so fast. It is incredible. So the group on Facebook, it's called Ancient Evidence, Giants and Dragons, but I'll link it anyway in the comments because it is such a great group. But just some more pictures that they've mostly come off that group. But around the world, absolutely incredible, undeniable, amazing evidence is just coming forward all the time. And, you know, when you understand our true history, you understand what has actually gone on, it's so damn obvious, man. Like, it is so blatantly obvious. You know, like, I remember this growing up, like, on the TV channels, A Green Giant, and they're putting this stuff in our face all the time. Now, look at the size of this footprint. You can kind of, like, you've got so many. Look at the teeth. Look at that foot. That's like, it wouldn't even cover a fraction of the small toe in comparison. You know, this thing that's created that was huge, absolutely huge. You know, how long is the rest of the world going to deny that these titans and giants existed? You know, what is it going to take to prove to people foot. Our history is
the size of the foot right there.
From every corner of our realm, from every country, from every piece of knowledge that has been handed down. Giants and titans are talked about everywhere. Literally everywhere, and the proof and the evidence of their existence is literally all over the land. What is it going to take for people to wake up? Just because we can't see it now doesn't mean that their existence never happened. You know, we're still getting the remnants of these giants and titans everywhere. This is another Facebook group that's definitely worth joining. And what I find really incredible here is this.
Check it out, man.
Like,
check it out.
Amazing.
I'm telling you.
Absolutely amazing.
It's overwhelming
Again,
proof.
Here, look at the face and the rocks.
Yeah.
You know, I talk about this stuff all the time, and a lot of my Facebook friends, you know, people comment and take the mix, but they have literally not spent probably even a minute of their time looking into this. Nothing. But yet it's so much easier to dismiss and laugh, because what happens is, if we can unravel one part of history as a lie, or one part of science as a lie, it makes us question everything.
That's right.
And people aren't ready to give up their comfortable lifestyles with the things that they know to be true. It's like with the whole flat earth concept. You know, people, they really genuinely believe that the earth is a globe and there's space and NASA's true and everything that comes with it. And it's like, we've already got that down. We've already figured out what the world is. So to go back to the very beginning and scrap the globe is just not even a question for these people, because they already had that part of their life figured out. They knew where they were living. They knew what was going on. And they cannot accept that it is a lie. Because, you know, if the flat earth is true, you know, giants and dragons true, and is everything else true? You know, is fluoride really bad for us? Is vaccinations really bad for us?
Hey,
are the government's all puppets to the same corporation, Illuminati arsehole? You know, if you just unravel one piece of anything, it makes us question the whole lot. And people aren't ready to, like I say, undo that comfortable lifestyle. But, you know, the giants were real, man. You know, even all the films talk about you know, kids' books are filled about giants and dragons and titans and mythical creatures. People have no idea. You know, and when you watch all these TV programs as well, I've noticed a lot of these bloody programs talk about the earth as a realm, especially like, you know, like Game of Thrones. That is one of the most ridiculously true-filled programs out there, and I really believe the reason so many millions of people
Ice Walls, Giants,
like absolutely love that program is because they're resonating with it on a deep down level. You know, it's showing. Just even watch the intro of Game of Thrones. It is ridiculous, like what they are showing us. Truth in plain sight.
Yes.
Honestly.
Look at that.
But this
is real, folks.
Everywhere.
And if you guys want to, you know, come in and join, and you got something to add about these Nephilims, you know, message Roxanne, and then we'll bring you on and ask you a couple questions and let you say your, you know, and say your word. You know what I mean? This is real stuff right here. You know, yeah. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Look, I got to stop it for a second. I want you to see this. Look at it. You know? And people living on a Titan, you know, they don't even know it. Look, Titan head fossil. Maybe they do know it. Look at that. Look at that. Amazing, ain't it?
Wow.
Crazy. Just bird. Big dolphin. Everything was giant back then. Trees, everything.
Wow.
Size of that elephant. It's no more coincidences, man. It is what it is. Petrified elephant. That's a skeleton right there. Look at that. It's a skeleton. Yeah. Check this out. Breathtaking shot right here. Look at that. Look at that. You know, it's all over the world. I said there was over like 400, 400,000 giants. You know, Look at that. Look at the head. Sleeping giants. That's what they call it. No idea. This. Nose, mouth. Like somebody did something funny. With the mushrooms. You still see the mushrooms or something running out. This is, I love this one. Looked like he was just trying to climb out. Climb out of the water. And I don't know if you guys know, dead bodies, you know, when you dive, your body releases all those fluids. I don't know if you know about Roger. He said he found a big dragon, like Morocco is supposed to be a big dragon. Take a look at it. It's pretty dope. Look at that. Look at the face right there. Teeth. See the teeth? See the teeth? These titans and giants have rows of teeth. Look at that. You know, there's no more denying it, man. Look at that. Nice. Yeah, we know about the Smithsonian hiding the giants. You know, it just doesn't go well with their evolution and their Big Bang theory and their spinning ball magic. Trillions and metric tons of water sticking to a ball. You know, they've been hiding our true nature to reality from us. Are these the Nephilim? You know, did God, our Heavenly Father, the creator of all things, and this earth we live on, turn these giants, Nephilim, into stone, petrified rock? You know, some of these mountains, you know, that we think they're mountains and they're natural formations, they're actually giants. And chop down trees. There's a lot we don't know about. We need to look for ourselves. We need to stop accepting official narrative of our history. You know, as we dig deeper in looking for the facts and researching for the truth, you know, every turn and every rock we uncover, we just realize we've just been lied to. They've been beating the divinity out of us, you know, about our real reality. You know, we live in a fake world. You know, there's a lot that we need to learn. You know, are these giants from, you know, pre-Noah flood? You know, all these megaliths, you know, these pyramids that were built. We want to know who built them. I think that these were the original Freemasons. You know, in the evil satanic realm, man. And teaching our kids all this nonsense about spinning balls, came from monkeys. You know, we need to look into this. You know, conspiracies are, you know, something that you can't really prove. There's too many dead ends. You know, but the stuff I'm talking about, something that you can easily prove. It's overwhelming evidence. said, we live in a supernatural world. You know, the Bible is supernatural. We need to wake up. You know, start thinking for ourselves. Start being critical thinkers. You know, start reshaping our new reality. You know, what was hidden must be revealed. You stop trusting these scientists and these white lab coats. You know, they got all the answers. They got all the lies. You know, all our history is completely wrong. You know, look at the signs, look at the evidence. Giant things back then, giant animals. All over the world, you know, people know about the floods, you know, but you know they think they came from clouds. It's impossible for all that water that reached the highest mountains came from clouds. So water's above the firmament, you know. Don't be lied to, man. Wake up and understand that. Yeah, there's a lot of things we don't know about this flat earth we live on. You know, we gotta figure out what's going on. Figure out what happened. You know, do your own research. Come to your own conclusions. Yeah, so, you know, like, you know, I didn't, you know, spent a lot of time on it because I know a lot of people seen this, but a lot of people know about this, but a lot of people that don't, man. And this is just another part of the lies and the deceptions, you know, about what's going on, you know. Did we get anybody from the chat? We get anybody from the chat?
You know what I was going to say? I think not enough people have, well, I haven't anyway. I haven't slowed down enough to look at these kind of subjects. And I've got to say, just from the little bit that you've just showed,
right.
All of us, I'm like gobsmacked at some of the things I've just seen. Like literally some of the things I've just seen.
Right.
In a big way. In a big way.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking into the chat room just now. Totally new for me. I need to research more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this was another mind-blowing thing, man. When I was like, wow. I mean, when I'm telling you they lied about everything, they lied about everything. These were building structures, man. You know, they want to make it seem like we came out of caves. These people were pouring concrete, man. I'm telling you, if you haven't checked out Wise Up and you really want to look at this, Archeology is one of
that channel as well to point everyone in the direction of that channel.
I'm telling you, man, I can't stress that enough, man. Do your research about this.
Someone said there's a sleeping giant in Wales. Someone else said that we've got some huge rocks here that look like a woman laying down Madonna mounting.
Wow, yes. Look at
petrified wood equals moon rocks. Thanks, NASA. These were abominations. NASA equals sphere porn.
Right.
What did you think when you first watched it? I think so. Richie from Boston. Yes, we're live. It is live. Yep. Richie from Boston's in the chat room.
Shout out to Richie from Boston.
Yeah, shout out to Richie from Boston. Marilyn Spirit Level said that fossils can be formed quickly. And coal can also be formed really quickly. Yeah.
Yes. Especially if the floods were, floods, you got the salt water, you got wood that people think that were carved in the stone. No, they just fossilized, fossilized wood, man. Mud fossils. Mud fossils is another good time, right?
Someone else has said the long time spans are an absolute joke. You know, like when they give you the carbon dating or the long time span they give us, that's just an absolute joke, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and someone else says check out Wise Up, Mud Fossil University and Mud Flood.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Telling you, if you're not looking at Mud Fossil University, let me tell you something. Roger is a globe head. Okay.
Have you got another one to show us? Have you got another video to show us?
Yeah. Roger is a globe head, right? But you know, but his work is amazing. And him and Wise Up, he's a flat earther. Okay. You know we don't live on a ball. And they go at it all the time. But you know what I'm saying? But their work is amazing. Even though he's a globe head, I mean, you'll be mind blown. When I'm telling you, they say that blood, you can't draw blood from a rock. That's a lie. You know, you see most of these rocks, they're just pieces of flesh. I mean, it's just, you're mind blowing, man. When you think like minerals, these giants are that big, right? We got metals in our body, iron, all kind of stuff. These giants, what do you think we're mining? We're mining and coaling out giants. So yeah, definitely. Just give me a second.
Yeah. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around what you just said. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. It just, you know, a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people don't know, man. Get into them, look into the mud fossil because you got to remember, you got to forget everything you was taught and start from scratch, man. So, and when you learn it, like, oh wow, like, oh okay, this makes more sense now. You know, it's just
crazy. Crazy.
Absolutely. You still got the screen, right? Okay, good. Just give me a second. I gotta try to find this.
No worries. Yep, just bear with us a second, chat room. I started on mud flood videos last night. Wow.
Did you? Oh, that's awesome. Fantastic.
No, that's someone in the chat room. That was Mama Links. Started on mud flood videos last night.
Yes, shout out to Mama Links. What's going on?
Yep. I've been awake now for 4 years and it's great. It's hard to tell others because they think I'm mad.
Right.
Petrified forest, I think Arizona. Sorry, can't remember.
That's awesome, man. People go, you know, people walk around thinking they fully awoke, and there's a lot of deceptions out there, but there's so much to learn too, man. This is fascinating stuff, man. All fascinating, man. It's all amazing to get learned.
Trinity 4, Dave Mennel, I'm hoping to get him on one afternoon this week. He's done a lot of research into mud flood and stuff.
Yes.
He's got some good content on his channel talking about that. So Trinity 4, the word Trinity and the number 4. If you go and check out his channel, he's got some info on this as well. So yeah, let me know when you're ready, and I'll flick the screen over.
Yeah, I'll be ready in 2 seconds. And I am feeling good. Okay. So, all right, I am ready. So let me get the screen back. All right. Can you see now?
I can see you.
You can still see me? So you can't see what I'm seeing right now?
No.
Okay, hold on. Let me make sure. Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to play this real quick. You can see me now, right?
I can see it now. Yeah. Perfect.
Yep, this is Wise Up. I'm going to give you, a lot of people don't know. Roxanne didn't know nothing. She lives in the UK about Wise Up.
I got clued up about Wise Up from Richie today.
Big fan, man. I'm telling you guys, if you want something to do, I'm telling you, drop the Netflix for a second. And you can learn this and watch this. But you can learn from other people's research, man. You know what I mean? Check it out.
Down, it would only come up to his shoulder, right? And his head would only be half the size of this head here. There's about, I know of about 3 different types of these types of beings, on this island, Easter Island it is. And these were actually real giants of some type of species from some time, right? And it's the same thing as what happened in Pompeii, and they've turned into ash. It's exactly the same thing, people. This creature, this thing was real and walking about at one time. which then, this is one of the old images, isn't it? Look, there's two images in here that aren't mine. Obviously, the first one I just started off with that. This one, right? And I've used an image from mud fossil and artifact he found, but I have already come out and said that this artifact actually is real, right? Now, there's not many images of this, right? It doesn't exist anymore. It's been smashed down, apparently. But if this image is real, and this artifact existed, then I'm saying absolutely that this was walking around. It's a giant. It's something like it's died in a pyroclastic flow, and that's what's happened to it, right? Then I got into the Aswan Quarry. At that time, I said that all these were fingerprints. I now don't think that they are fingerprints. What this actually looks like to me, it actually looks like a shoe print, right? It actually looks like the imprint of a shoe. And this site was a fully geopolymer site because it's granite, like I said. If there's any geopolymer going on, it's only with granite. And what's down here is actually fingerprints where they've been moulding these huge obelisks into shape, right? Because that's what they are. If you can't see that these are actually fingerprints and they've been squeezing it into shape,
giant.
right? And now I know for a fact that I'm absolutely 100% right. Look, that is where a finger's been shoved into this geopolymer granite. You can actually see where, like it would have been the left hand, yeah? This is where the rest of the three knuckles would have come. And that's why it's dinted there. And it shoved its finger deep inside here. And now I know for a fact, and you can't dispute this image. If anybody wants to dispute what's going on here, right, look. This is obviously a finger. It's the greatest image that I've ever found is this, right? Look at it. It's left its imprint in this granite. That's where it was scooping it out there. You know, this is obviously a stone that they're trying to tell you that the Egyptians were bashing this thing out. And
check this out.
That's where I've just had you down there. These. Look at the shapes of these and how they point slightly towards the end. If you stick your finger in anything soft, it comes out in exactly this shape. You don't leave perfectly symmetrical fingerprints, right? This is where your nail is up here. And your skin squeezes into a point just like that. Those are fingerprints, guys.
So, look at that.
This site at Sacsayhuaman, this huge block here, you can see the imprint of a hand, and it is about the same size as the hand fingerprints I've just been showing you in Egypt. This is this same site, Sacsayhuaman wall, and that's what I think these are. You can see where it's bulging out there.
Big sandbags they use.
All these will have just been concrete blocks, right? And it's got sand in it. And over time it just hardens more, that's all. They used to say that this was andesite, it's not, it's limestone. Right? They say, well, how would you get these, you know, blocks perfectly, you know, where you can't fit a human hair? Well, it's simple. You just put something like paper in between it, right? And then lay your blocks. So I could do that. But it's the scale of what we're talking about, isn't it? Mm-hmm. These are about the same size fingerprints. This wasn't living, yeah. This was created by a giant with hands like I've just shown you, and that's what they are. And you can see where it's been pulling up on this thing and forming this chin into shape. I said that.
So look, I just want to end it. I don't want to get any copyright strikes or whatever like that on it. So I want you guys to, if you didn't, you know, if you don't know, definitely check it out. If you have, you know, check out Wise Up. You know, check out his stuff, man, and check out Roger from Mud Fossils. You know, you know, I think that you know, you guys, it's so much of a piece of a puzzle that you guys have to see, so you can kind of get an understanding, you know, about this supernatural world we live in, man. You know what I mean? We live in a supernatural world. You know what I mean? And that's why they, you know, that's a big reason why they've been hiding the truth, because, you know, if we live in a building, that means someone made the building. Okay.
Exactly.
You know, this is, you know, it's serious stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's it. That's it. We live in a design system designed by the Most High, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I'm not going to give him a name, but
right.
I'm going to call him the Most High.
Exactly. We're still trying to find out what this place is. So you know, that's why it's important for us to, you know, talk about this and try to figure out, you know, let's share ideas. Yeah, you know, let's connect the dots together. You know, it's about let's connect the dots together. You know, because there's going to be more people that have information, you know, that you don't have, you know, or know something more about you don't have. So, you know, share it. You know.
What's your standpoint on this whole Nephilim thing? The whole Nephilim.
Helium thing? That they ran out of helium?
No, the Nephilim. You mentioned Nephilim.
Oh, you mean the Nephilim? Yes.
Nephilim.
Look, I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, I'm all right with not saying I don't know, but there's a lot of evidence to show that there's truth to that, man. You know, like when we had Dave on the other day, he's saying about Nephilim, and you know, the truth is the truth. You know, I mean, you know.
Well, speaking of Dave, Dave's gonna come on with us on Friday and go a bit deeper into all of that. So yeah, we're gonna have Dave back with us on Friday evening at about 8 p.m. GMT, which works out at about 8 p.m. which works out about 3 p.m. your time on Friday.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's fantastic. You know what I mean? That's because.
So we're going to go deeper about it again on Friday night. But and what were you talking about Stonehenge? You mentioned something about Stonehenge.
Oh, that's right, Stonehenge. Well, you know, doing my research, I found out that Stonehenge was all a hoax. It was all fake. It's just a lie. It's a complete lie. And what I found out is I found some evidence that it's just they reconstructed it. So I made a video about a year ago, and I put it on Facebook. It's like a 3-minute video. Okay. I put it on Facebook, but I've evolved in my learning. Come to find out that they were hiding the Titan bones. So, you know, they were just too massive. They're just literally poured like concrete on them. Actually, Wise Up has a really good piece on that. And he's the one that made me look at it. And that makes, you know, it was kind of like another piece that I already know that it was like a fake, but the deception, you can actually see the deception. I'll actually, you know, show you. Trying to get it up in a minute.
No worries. Just let me know when you find it, and I'll flick it back over.
Yeah, absolutely. I found it. Am I okay? Let me just get back into the.
No, you could have left it where it was. You were fine. You were fine.
Okay. So you can see me there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So check it out.
Remember, we accept the world in which it's presented to us.
Wow.
We live in an evil, satanic world, folks. I keep trying to tell you that our reality is rigged. Right here, I'm going to show you the proof on how they did it, on how they faked Stonehenge. They faked everything, folks. We don't live on a spinning ball. We live in space at ridiculous speeds, traveling around the sun. They faked everything. Everything is staged.
Wow.
at them. It's a red reality, folks.
Mm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Look at that. Huh?
Wow.
Look at that. Huh? Yeah. They want to line it up to like think it's like connected to some celestial bodies, right? No, absolutely. It's called fraud, man. Fraud. Everything's fraud. Fraud. It's just, it's right there in your face, man. Fraud. Complete fraud. So, you know, rig reality, folks.
Wow.
Yep, rig reality.
Wow.
So, what's going on in the chat room? What's going on? Oh, yeah, so you guys don't know. If you guys know, make sure you go to Roxanne's channel if you haven't and check out Earth Does Not Curve Downwards. It's something that we did together. If you haven't checked that out, then you're missing out. But go ahead.
Some of it to hear other people's opinions of where we're at just now.
Oh yeah, okay. What's going on in the chat room?
Because it's your content. Yeah. Is
that my content?
No, I'm saying because it's your content, I think it's quite apt for you to play it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about spreading the truth.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that don't know this.
Yeah.
So if you know something,
if you go back to your YouTube screen, we'll be able to see it.
Yeah. You said you want me to go back to what?
The YouTube screen and play some of the Earth Does Not Curve Downwards.
Oh, okay. You want to see that? Okay. Well, let's do it. This is if you want to play that, we could do it. This is it's real deep.
Go for it.
I don't know if there's probably people out there that haven't seen it. Well, let's give it to them.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
Comes to space.
Oh,
too often, for too many years, our
excuse me. It's the wrong video. So
no worries. We can wait. We can wait. I'm on my screen.
Dimension beyond that which is known to man.
Cool.
It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
Number one, to come into the truth movement, if you're really concerned about truth, you've got to check an ego at the door, okay? You do not know everything. A lot of you think you do, but you don't. I certainly don't. Through your school system, through your education that you're so proud of, that builds your whole ego, your whole value in life, it's impossible for you to discard it and admit you were deceived. Let me tell you something. You've been deceived. It's not your fault. You can let go of your ego. Nobody's going to laugh at you except other people that can't let go of their ego. But people that have caught on to the con and realized the power grab that's taken place, they're not going to laugh at you. They're going to welcome you. I'm telling you again, the worst thing they fear is the hive mind. The one thing they fear is 300 million people in the United States coming together on one topic and saying, this makes no sense. We need answers. Why is the flat earth so important? Because it shows the deception. There are enough reasonable questions to create reasonable suspicion that we've been lied to. They can't afford to keep being asked. Whether the earth actually turned out to be diamond-shaped, cross-shaped, pear-shaped, there's enough to see that it's not what we've been told. And once that is revealed, everything these governments have done becomes illegitimate. That is why it matters. And that is why they will do anything they can to keep us fighting, keep us distracted, keep us at odds against each other, just like the entire world, whether it be Christians against Muslims, blacks against whites. Government that truly has your best interest, your freedom at heart, or does it sound like a government that wants to keep you constantly busy on paying attention to anything but what they're doing? And this truth movement is no different. Because as soon as the topic starts going where everybody could actually make a stand and say, hey, wait a minute, this needs to be answered. This is a big one. And I don't care what anybody says, the flat earth, the shape of the earth, is the biggest conspiracy and has been used to manipulate, deceive, and control us all. If, God forbid, everybody came and started demanding answers, and once they can't provide those answers, people realize they are busted. It can't be a mistake. It can't be anything but the deception and control mechanism it is. Flat Earth is not a psyop. Flat Earth destroys the psyop. Every psyop that's been used to control us for as long as they've known about it. So this system has been in power and control for hundreds of years, ever since they convinced the rest of the world that they didn't know where they live, and created this fantastical scenario to make people feel insignificant and to follow those that appear to know better, that are just better liars, deceivers, that have no conscience, and will do everything and anything to everybody and anybody they can to keep that power. Because people are waking up. And no matter how much they try to suppress this flat earth movement, oh, it's going to keep moving one way or another. You can see it. People are waking up. So now, louder than ever, I can hear that clock. Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. It's a religion. It's all a religion. You know why? Because government is a religion. Government is the majority of the world's true God, because they believe that these people have some sort of power, and they've even convinced us that we've given it to them. They still have us convinced in 2015, the age of instant communication, that we, for some reason, need representatives in a city that's not even part of this country called Washington, D.C. to represent us. That in this age of instant communication, we can't represent ourselves for some reason. That's how deep the brainwashing and the indoctrination has gone. They still have you convinced that this government should be run on the same system it was run when people were back on horseback using telegraphs and Pony Express. That's why they had these representatives, had to go to Washington, so that they could go back home to this group of a few 100,000 people and say, well, what do you guys want? Okay, I'll go tell them. And they travel for a week to Washington, D.C. or however long it takes. That's why you needed representatives. Now I can push this button and talk to anybody in the world. What the fuck do I need a representative for? Because it's the power system, the control system. They have to keep indoctrinating you in schools, teaching you about everything in anything but where you live. Now they have to treat out all the money that was going into the educational system to control your mind isn't working anymore. People see how stupid everybody is. That is the failure of government. See, flat earth proves the failure of government, period. Because it's either deceived and lied and indoctrinated us all into a false system, or it's completely failed in making people realize if they really live on a globe, a lot of people don't see it. So your education system has failed now, hasn't it? In order to believe it, we've got to believe a bunch of math formulas that only a few people in the world can supposedly understand, and we've just got to take your word for it. Here in this age of all this technology where I can get on this phone, record this video, and send it out to the world, they can't seem to find a way to easily, simply prove to everybody on the planet where they live. It always depends on some formulas that the majority of the people don't understand. And again, the people that do understand it don't understand it. They either know it's bullshit or they believe it's bullshit because it's just religion and it's not proven. It's just twisted formulas to fit their agenda. It doesn't wash out in reality. What difference does it make? What difference does it make? Yeah, that's their favorite line. Got a lot of people, what difference does it make? You can't figure out what difference it makes? If you can't figure out what difference it makes that the people running your world have fucking lied to you over and over your whole life, if you can't figure out that someone lying to you is trying to control you. Suppressing of information, of knowledge, is control. Deception of information and knowledge is a form of control. So what difference does it make? It makes a big difference, because once they start omitting information or lying about information about where you live, they're doing it to control you, period. Why am I having to explain this to critical thinkers in the truth movement? Where you live, it's been a lie the whole time, and if everybody would just come together and demand answers, they would be in checkmate. They would not know what the fuck to do. They cannot prove it. They can't prove the globe because it doesn't exist. So once you call on them, they're done. You then remove them from power and go from there. That rips down all the other conspiracies. You then have access to all these top secret government files, the national security that they hide all the evidence under. The way you control billions of people is to keep them divided and fighting each other. So they focus on anything and everything but you and how you're controlling them all.
If it's true, does it change how I live my life? It would be nice if it's true for the government to acknowledge and stop charades. However, I find it really hard, especially knowing someone that works for NASA and his job is to get new packages ready, yada, yada, yada. So again, what difference does it make? Well, that's, like I said, that's a great question. And this is something that is not an easy answer because of the magnitude of what we're talking about here. How it will change your life, first of all, when you understand it, it is dramatic, to say the least. Will it change you from having to go to your job every day and the things that you typically do every day? No. But when this knowledge becomes more mainstream and these agencies are starting to be held accountable, and you understand that they're all participating in this, not just the United States government, not just NASA, but China, Russia, India, all of them have space programs. They all have the same symbols, and they're all doing the exact same thing to their citizenry. The deception goes all the way to the top. I say all the way to the top, you have to kind of get rid of the notion that the people at the very highest levels are working together. People that control the world are not, we're not against each other. There was never any such thing really as a Cold War. We're really not enemies with anybody else. This is all a facade that's being brought on for our benefit. But the people that are in power, that have all the money, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Morgans, the on and on and on, these are the people that literally run the central banking system, which of course has permeated the entire world. And any country that tries to get away from it, their leaders are quickly assassinated. It goes on and on and on. So you have to understand, and I think you have to understand conspiracies a little bit to understand the magnitude of this deception. So why would they do this? Why are they trying to hide the fact that we are on an infinite plane or on a flat Earth rather than a ball? The answer to that, there's a lot of answers to that, but in my personal opinion, if you isolate people into the idea that they're on a blue marble that's in the middle of a universe that is really insignificant, and there's thousands or millions and billions of other worlds and possibly other civilizations, that makes most people think that we are insignificant and that, you know, we did actually come about, you know, as some sort of an accident. All right. Now, when people believe that, it is their minds are much more malleable into being given the idea that, you know, there is no God, there is no creator, that all of this is just some sort of random happenstance. And because of that, you know, that also gives the controllers kind of this fertile soil to build other deceptions on, okay? And it's all about control. Remember, it's not about money. Money is irrelevant. They print the money, right? Money is just, you know, something that you and I agree has value, but it really is just pieces of paper, right? These people are printing the money. They can print money all day long if they want to, and they do. So it's not about that. It's not just about power either. It's about total control. Mental, physical, spiritual, every way, shape, and form possible. And, you know, to wrap your head around this type of deception, you know, whether you're religious or not, you know, if you're religious, then you understand that this is Satan's plan all along. If you're not religious, then you need to understand that, you know, people are power hungry and they will do anything to gain and maintain this type of control. So ultimately, you know, to get back to the question, how will it change? How will it change? Think about when this idea catches on and the awareness of the level of deception that we are.
I always look at those things too, as the fact that we would have that video of the sun going around, or a 24-hour sun video, like in every classroom in the world, because it essentially, if shown to be true, would be proof of the globe. I always go back to the very idea that we were never taught about flat Earth. Just imagine for a second that flat Earth is silly and ridiculous as everyone makes it out to be. So if that were the case, then why wouldn't a whole 2 weeks of class in 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade be spent having half the class argue on behalf of flat Earth and having the other half argue on behalf of the globe, have them come up with ideas and thoughts and experiments, and then you put those into action, and then you come together at the end of the 2 weeks and you show which one clearly has more evidence, and then people walk away and they would understand why they live on a globe, they would believe they lived on a globe, they would have proof they lived on a globe. That would be the case if the globe was true. Instead, you were not talked about flat Earth at all. It was in passing, it was ridiculous, Christopher Columbus, it was just thrown aside. No evidence was given for the globe. It was a matter of fact. It was known. It was scientifically accurate. That's the way they taught it. And then they taught the flat Earth, the idea of falling off the edge. If you think that that's for no reason, that they just didn't feel like teaching us with actual evidence, and I mean, it's so clear that there's a reason behind why they would do that. And why would they go through all the steps that they've gone through to change the idea of whether or not Columbus or people before him thought the earth was flat? It is a concerted effort by academia et al. To go through and destroy anybody or anything, any book. And there's tons of examples. You know, there's tons of examples of school books that people have found from 1920 that say people in Christopher Columbus's day thought that the earth was flat. Well, they go through and they destroy that stuff and they say, nope, this person was confused. This person didn't know. Everybody from 2,500 years ago. Well, it's because they had to change that, because if somebody started telling people, hey, 500 years ago, we thought that the earth was flat. It's only been in the last 500 years. People would say, really? I want to go look into that. And that's the last thing they can have people do, is look into this problem, because you will quickly find out that all you have is Aaron Ra beating his drum and not a lot of substance or evidence or facts to show you where you live. And that's going to get people to start searching. And that's ultimately my goal, is getting people to go look into this stuff. Look at like what Ben did. There's problems down there. And that's really the answer. I've asked people before, what would they choose if they could take one trip? Would it be to the north or to the south? And for me, it would be to the south. I definitely think that everything rides on Antarctica. Now, I'm going to sound crazy here, but we've also seen NASA fake a sun. They have a fake sun. They've shown it before. There's pictures of it. Look up NASA fake sun. It's
they have a patent on it.
They have a patent on it. It's got a bunch of bulbs. And it's not out of the question to picture that there's these isolated spots in Antarctica, right? So there's these few bases or whatever. Well, it's not out of the question to think that they would throw a little balloon up with a fake sun and it go around. People might think that's crazy. Oh, my goodness, now you're out of your... Well, if you don't understand what this lie means to the higher-ups, and you look at the fact that somebody gets $52 million a day, that it would be very easy to conceive. They've got balloons they can put up with 8,000-pound apparatuses to stay up for a year. So if that's that easy, this is easier than that. You put up the fake sun for 6 months or 3 months, whatever it needs to be, and you program it to go around that base where those people are. So to me, it's not out of the question. I would have to see it. I mean, I think that the reason we don't see videos of that is because I'm pretty sure somebody with any kind of forensic ability would be able to look at the image and clearly see the difference between the sun and a big light that NASA put up there. Now, somebody who's just a scientist or somebody who's just going there for a trip might not know the difference. They might look up and see the bright thing and say, okay, that's the sun. But somebody with forensic video evidence or photo evidence might be able to just tweak some of the little values and see that it's clearly not the sun. So, I mean, in my opinion, that's even not out of the question that they could be faking the sun down there. It's that important. It means that much to them. Otherwise, that would give up the whole secret.
God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together in one place. The dry land appeared, and so. And God called the dry land what? Earth, earth, earth. Now go to verse 14. God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven, divide the day from the night. Let them be for signs, seasons, for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light to the earth. And it was so, and God made two great lights. What are these lights? What? Sun and the moon. Did you just read in your Bible that the earth is older than the sun? Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You just read in your Bible that the earth was here before the sun. Right? You certainly did. Now, that's a big deal. Now, here's what you get into. There's two big words I'm going to throw out there to you. That's what I'm giving to you. And you think about it. Geocentric and heliocentric. So what does that mean? It's just a big word. You pay for the education, let folks go to school. Here's what it means. Geocentric means that the earth is the center of the universe. Heliocentric means that the sun is the center of the universe, known universe, our solar system. And everything revolves around the sun. With a geocentric view, the sun and everything revolves around the earth, and the earth is fixed where it is. Now, here's the thing. My little excursion into this has revealed that most of the people that believe in a geocentric view of the earth also believe that the earth is flat. I'm going to throw some things out there for you this morning. I love debate. If what you believe is real, and you really believe it, and you have a foundation for that belief, you should be able to defend it. I have no respect for somebody who says, I believe this and that, and you don't have anything to back it up. I'm not saying I believe in a flat earth. No. But there are some interesting points they make. Let me give you one. How many understand if the Earth is a ball out here in space, then it has a curvature to it, right? It has a curvature. It's going to have a curvature. You're going to see a curvature. Now, what's going to be more apparent is the higher you get, the more you're going to be able to see the curvature, right? In other words, you have to get to a point in space where you're able to look down on the Earth and see the curvature of the Earth. And therefore, prove without a doubt that the Earth is round. Now, this gets into the scientific geology or geography or whatever they are, who measure things like this. But did you know that in Lake Michigan, Chicago, Illinois sits on the western bank of Lake Michigan? Chicago, Illinois, it's a good-sized town. At one time, Chicago was the second largest town in America. Chicago, Illinois. It sits right there. It butts right up again Lake Michigan. Right up against it, Lake Michigan. You can go 40 miles across the peninsular part of Michigan. I forget the name of the town there. It's in another state. And you can get out there on a boat 40-something miles away from Chicago and look across Lake Michigan, and you can see the skyline of Chicago. A meteorologist was talking about what he called what is that thing? A mirage. A mirage. The phenomenon of a mirage. That makes sense, doesn't it? That makes sense for the curvature of the Earth. How many follow me here? So he was trying to explain to people, how can we 40 miles away see Chicago?
Here is a mirage.
And he was explaining to them how that the light was coming up and bouncing back down, and it was a mirage. You weren't really seeing Chicago by looking straight at it. You were seeing a reflection of Chicago through the clouds and the atmosphere, whatever else is up there. So these guys up there, they got in this boat. You've always got somebody like this. They hooked up their cameras. They had to wait for a certain day to come clear enough, because 40 miles is a long way to see, folks. And they got in their boat, and they hooked up their cameras, and they focused in on Chicago. You could barely see it, barely, because of the haze, the distance. But they kept their cameras trained on Chicago, Illinois, and they began to cross Lake Michigan. And do you know something? Nothing ever changed except Chicago got clearer. Now, if you're following me in all of this, here's the point. If the Earth is curved, they should not have been able to see Chicago 40 miles away. Is that right? I'm not saying I believe it, but it makes me think. How did they see Chicago? Airline pilots, when they go up, flight level, let's say 30, 35, in other words, 30,000, 35,000 feet in the air. Let's say they're up there at 35,000 feet. As they rise in that aircraft, did you know what? Amazing thing happens. The horizon rises. Now, if the horizon was curved, would it rise or would it fall? So you believe in the flat earth? No, but I believe in listen to what they got to say. You see, here's their point. Their point is that God made the earth, and he made everything else as it relates to the earth. And the earth is the center of God's plan for man. And that it is here the issue of sin and salvation is settled. And that because of that, the earth is primary and is of primary importance in God's creation. In plain words, you're not going to find anything out there that is nearly as important as what you've got going on here. Now, as far as that's concerned, I go with them 100%. I'm going to read a little more about the flat earth. Here's why. I may never believe the earth is flat, but I may learn a lot of things from it that may help me understand my Bible in ways that I could never understand it before.
Belief is an acceptance that something exists or is true, especially without proof. Do you believe? Do you believe that Superman, fairies, Santa Claus, the Loch Ness Monster, the Tooth Fairy, do you believe they exist? No? So why do you believe in a globe Earth? What is your evidence? Or is it a belief, a hand-me-down of repeating so-called knowledge without proof? For instance, a teacher teaching a student about fire-breathing flying dragons, who later becomes a teacher teaching about fire-breathing flying dragons. We live on a flat plane of existence, where water finds its level. The horizon line is always flat and rises to eye level, no matter how high you go. We converge into the horizon and disappear once they are past the vanishing point of a person's vision. Whenever an object passes the vanishing point of an observer's vision, the observer can bring the object back into view by zooming in with either binoculars, a high-zoom powered camera, or a telescope. This debunks all claims of objects disappearing over the curvature. Aeroplane flight routes only make sense on a stationary plane realm. Tracking flights will reveal that all flights arc towards the Arctic. No flights ever arc towards the Antarctic. This is because the world is not a globe. The shortest path from point A to point B is a straight line. You cannot track flights in the oceans south of the equator. The reason is that the Global Positioning System, GPS, is actually the ground positioning system. The northern half of the world is more or less identical in shape and distance on both the globe as well as the plane realm models. In the southern half of the world, the two models are completely different, of course. GPS only tracks flights in the north. All intercontinental southern flights always have to travel to the north to get to their destinations. This is because we live on a stationary flat plane of existence, not on a spinning globe in vacuum. Gravity is a theory that explains why objects stick to the globe instead of falling off into the vacuum of space. Gravity exists in strict support of the theory of relativity, which states that large masses in the universe create space-time, which bends the vacuum of space and creates a phenomenon called gravity. In a vacuum, space cosmology, the direction is relative, in that up is anywhere away from the core of the planet, and down is anywhere towards the core of the planet. The universal constant here is that in the vacuum of space, the norm is 0G. None of these theories have ever been proven true, and all attempts to prove these theories have resulted in complete fail. Plain Earth realm cosmologies reject the theory of relativity. This means that there is no need for gravity and space-time to explain its physics. We know that in order for something to have properties, it must exist. A vacuum is a lack of matter. How can something non-existent have properties? How can nothingness bend and curve? It can't. This proves that there is no science behind space-time or gravity, and that the two theories are fabrications of the imagination rooted in magic, rather than real physics and science. Plain Earth cosmologies instead claim that reality is absolutist, in nature rather than relative. This means that the universal constant is 1G, objectively and absolutely down, instead of 0G. There is no natural 0G. All matter, when placed in a vacuum, will objectively fall downwards. Not because it is pulled by the gravity of anything, but rather because the entire physics of the plane realm is absolutist in nature, where up is definitely up and down is definitely down. This is in complete accordance with everything that we can scientifically observe, test, and repeat. This is only possible on a flat plane of existence. It is completely impossible on a globe heliocentric model.
pilot is flying around the curve of the Earth, then it should be dipping the nose down every 5 minutes. It should be dipping the nose down to stay around the curve. But the thing that really got me interested was, as you said, the gyroscope. In a plane, there is an artificial horizon. Again, it's based on a gyroscope. And if you spin a gyroscope on a surface, it will want to stay upright. You can twist and tilt the surface as much as you like. The gyroscope will stay upright. So, if a plane has a gyroscope and it starts following the curve of the Earth, the gyroscope would stay upright, which means the artificial horizon will start to roll backwards. But it doesn't. That's absolute proof that a plane flies over a flat surface rather than a curved one. Because I asked the pilot on my last flight, do you ever notice the artificial horizon rolling backwards? He said, no, but the artificial horizon has complex electronics in it to make sure it knows where it is on the Earth and it compensates. But I went to the manufacturer of the artificial horizon, and they confirmed to me that it's completely mechanical, nothing electronic in it whatsoever. So it's literally just a gyroscope that can freely move. So that right there is proof to me that planes fly over a plane.
So, if we lived on a ball, we would know it. We would know it, man. We would know it. It's flat as fuck. I don't know how much more I can tell you how many times I gotta say it. No matter where you go, you're all over this earth. It's flat. The lands are flat. With topography. It's flat, man. Sea level's flat. Sea floor is flat. Horizon is flat. The earth is flat. I just don't understand why people can't understand this. I think more people are like, no way. There's no way our government could be lying to us about something like that. There's no way that all of these scientists that they pumped up and propped up is lying to us in the past. There's no way that everything I learned in school was a bunch of bullshit. There's no fucking way. And I think that's why people are, they can't get it. They don't grasp it. They don't, they just can't put the 1 + 1 together. And that's why they like the TV. Because brainwashing is real, folks. You gotta admit that you've been brainwashed, man. That you've been fucked, man. You present people with evidence, you get people to think, and they just can't get through their thick skulls, man. And they've been lied to like that. They've never seen curvature before. They ain't never seen the Earth from the view that NASA says, we live on, perfect sphere. I just want to bend into a ball, man. What's holding up the water? It's a perfect. What's holding up the water to curve it into a ball? You're not even fucking thinking, man.
ain't saying we live on a ball. The scientific establishment, NASA, they say we live on a ball, man. Don't get mad at me. Because I see no proof we live on a ball. Don't call me stupid. You know, don't call me stupid. Wait a minute, we don't feel like we spinning. You never seen curvature, you know? The earth does not curve downwards anywhere. What country, what state, what continent does the earth curve downwards? Not only that the earth does not curve downwards, it does not curve upwards. You live on a flat, stationary plane. You do not live on a ball. You do not live on a spinning ball. You do not live on a tilted spinning ball. You've been lied to your whole entire life. A quarter is round, but it's flat. We know it's round, but it's flat. The earth does not curve downwards nowhere. Wake the fuck up. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as me and Roxanne did. I probably saw it 1,000 times. Shout out to
It's all
Roxanne.
good. I'm hoping that this evening we've given you an opportunity to look and hear some things that you might not have heard before. I'm hoping that we've been able to show you some things that you haven't been privy to seeing before. I want to recap on the fact that Ranty came in on a hangout tonight with us. I want to give much love, props and respect to Ranty for coming over and chilling with us. I also want to thank Joey Sylvie for coming over and chilling with us and yeah, and being here with us as well. And I want to thank you, Richard, for putting in all the time and effort that you put into you know, to being here with me right now and for us collaborating together and doing this together. This might be here on my channel, but this whole hangout, the hangouts that we've done this week is something that's been quite organic between the two of us. As many communications as we're having with other people is just something that seems to have taken off and blossomed with us. And we've got so much energy for this that we want to do this. So realistically speaking, yeah, that's where we are with this at the moment. And we want to share it with you. And that's why we're doing this the way we are. So I'm going to let you all know that I'm going to do my damnedest to be live every single day. At some point, every single day, we're going to go live and do a hangout, and we're going to try and be as inclusive as possible. And we're going to give you current information, what's happening with who, new information that's coming to light, new observations that are coming to light so that we can recreate those observations. And we're going to try and, you know, lessen that division that goes on across the pond, you know, the us and them, those over in the States, us here in the UK.
Yeah.
Squash those divisions somewhat and bring us together. Because like I said, once you get to this arena of knowing the truth, there's still a mountain to climb as far as getting it forward. There's so much things to hold it back, and we're trying to stop those things from being a part of our reality. So So yeah, I want to thank you for all of the effort that you've put into the last few days to get this where it is. And I want to thank each and every one of the people that are in the chat room interacting with each other and communicating with each other. And going with us this evening. Like I said, we've shown you some things that you might not have seen before. Definitely me, I've seen some things in the last 24 hours I've not seen before. I'm looking into things I wasn't looking into. We're going to have Dave on at some point talking more about the mud floods. There was a lot of people in the chat room that were really interested in what we were talking about. We're going to have Dave, allegedly Dave, on later on in the week, and we're going to go and, you know, dissect some of these subjects that we brought up this evening and get a little bit deeper into them and get some hardcore facts. Then we've got Ranty and D Marble coming back on at the weekend.
Absolutely.
And we could possibly have a nice juicy guest on. That's a very knowledgeable person on Sunday. So yeah, fingers crossed for that. I won't say anything too much about it now, but that should be a pretty deep hangout. So yeah. Richie, you want to say anything?
I can't wait. Shout out to the chat room, everybody that spent their time to tuning in, and like our vibe that we're trying to go to get across. If you feel like you have, you know, something that you want to show and something that you want to be a part of, message myself, message Roxanne, get at us, let us know. This is for everybody. You know, our mission is to be inclusive. Just bridge the divides, stop the nonsense. Let's make it happen. We're going to get to interviewing some hardcore street flat earthers, into calling NASA, the fake space agency over there in the UK. I mean, all over. We're going to really do some other things that really is not being done. So
yep, and all in the effort to push it forward, all in the effort to try and break the dam that's holding the truth back. We need to break it. We need to work out what it's going to take to expose these liars for what they are. If it means taking it to the space agencies, fair enough. If it means taking it to the governments and the education systems, like Joey was saying earlier on, fair enough. This is what we've got to do. We've got these people in place. They're already in the jobs that they're in. They're already in the careers that they're in. They're already trying to make a change. So let's aid and abet that process. Anything we can do to aid and abet that process is where we're at. So once again, chat room, thank you so much. We're going to be back tomorrow. There will be more information about the lives tomorrow. There'll probably be a couple of lives tomorrow. There'll definitely be an exclusive live from inside the tour bus on the UK Globalist tour that kicks off tomorrow. The links are in the description for that and how to donate to that. If you donate to that, as much as a coffee or a beer, you're going to get exclusive access to the hangout. It's a private hangout with a selection of people on the panel. It won't just be me and Richard, obviously. There'll be Harry, Jason. There'll be a few other people. I won't name any names just now, but some very prominent people with some very hardcore damning evidence are going to be in that hangout as well. So if you can donate even as much as a coffee, a beer, it all goes towards fuel. Everything's transparent. The links are in the description. That'll be one hangout tomorrow. Yep.
Also, too, keep Jason and Harry in your prayers and in your thoughts, because you know they're going to hit the roads. You know, we're always thinking about them. We're going to keep you up to date. Up to date. What's going on? How's everything going on? And definitely, if you can, even if it's just $5, $10, look. It's going, if you're going to donate to something, this is what you donate to, okay? This is what you do. This is what's going on.
Yeah.
He's doing something that's breaking history. He's doing, the first Flat Earth Globe live tour ever to be done in the UK. And it's going to really, start the ball rolling over here in the United States. So, definitely.
Well said. So that's kicking off tomorrow. There's an exclusive hangout from inside the tour bus where you're going to get to see inside the tour bus that they're going to be on for 8 weeks, going to over 50 locations across the UK and Ireland. In 8 weeks, they're going to go to over 50 locations, dropping major red pills. We're going to try and keep you updated all the way through the tour through Richie's Facebook page, which is also in the description. If you click the link, that will take you straight to the Facebook page. We'll also be doing live hangouts on my channel, and the exclusive hangouts, there will be an additional set of exclusive hangouts that all the Patreon, GoFundMe and PayPal donators will have privy to. So yeah, all the links in the description are there for you. Richard's channel, Richard's Facebook, Joey's Facebook is in there, Ranty's YouTube channel is in there. ZPROXY's videos in there. And if there's some other videos that we've got of the megaliths and that, we're going to put all those descriptions in the link for Wise Up's channel as well.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely too. Also too is we're gonna you know, we're gonna keep you up to date on flat earth activism going on around.
Yes.
Of course. Yes. Yeah, that's what it's all about. All right, guys. Take it easy.
Much love and respect to you all.
Take it easy. Ciao.
Stay flat, baby. Take care.